Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy KCM What Ifs. Today we are gonna be reading Naruto, the Black Fox, or what if Naruto was killed and joined the Fox village. So sit back, relax and enjoy. Lady Tsunade sat at her Hokage desk as the warm summer's air came flying through the open window. She looked up at a calendar. There were 2 dates marked, one right after the other. The first date was tomorrow, when the different Kages from all the nations would be arriving in her village. It would be the first time since the end of the last war that all the Kages would be together in one place. The day after that would be when they would have their official meeting. That day also marked the 1-year anniversary of Sasuke's attack on the leaf. They now only had 3 years until the war began. Suddenly a knock came from the door. "Enter," said Tsunade as Naruto walked into the room. Over the year he seemed to have matured even more. It seemed with each passing day he looked more and more like his father Minato Namikaze. "You wanted to see me?" asked Naruto. "Yes," said Tsunade. "Naruto, a few months ago Haishir asked me to pick a replacement Hokage in case something would happen to me. Let me guess, I am not on the list of people Haishir would want," said Naruto as Tsunade nodded her head. "Yes, as much as I hate to say it, he is right at this moment. You can't be named my replacement," said Tsunade. She could tell Naruto was a little taken aback by that. "Listen Naruto, it isn't you, it's the villagers. They still hate me, I know," said Naruto. "Sadly a majority still do, however thanks to your work in the 9th district have leaked out into the 8th district," said Tsunade. "Not good if Haishir finds out," said Naruto. "Naruto, the 8 is almost as bad as the 9th. They want your help to go around the political system," said Tsunade. "Naruto, you are slowly winning them over." "It still isn't enough to be Hokage," said Naruto as he shook his head. He still wanted to carry out his dream. "Just give it time," said another voice as Naruto looked toward a window to see Kakashi sitting on the window with his in hand. "You're late Kakashi," said Tsunade. "And this surprises you?" asked Kakashi. "It shouldn't but it does," said Tsunade. "Let me guess, Kakashi is your pick?" asked Naruto. "Yes, he is," said Tsunade. "Sorry Naruto," said Kakashi to his former student. "It's for the good of the village, that is all that matters," said Naruto. "And that is why you should be Lady Tsunade replacement, not me," said Kakashi. "Yeah, but if I was the old hag's backup, the villagers would fight back against me, and in a war we can't be fighting each other," said Naruto. "That is why you will be my backup," said Kakashi as Naruto and Tsunade looked at him. "What, is there something wrong with having a backup for the backup? Also, the way I understand it, I can pick my own replacement and it wouldn't be told to the council until I take the Hokage's seat." "That is correct," said Tsunade with a smile. "So Naruto, is it alright of instead of being the 6th Hokage being the 7th? asked Kakashi as Naruto smiled. Back at the Namikaze estate, Sakura was in the basement doing the laundry in the laundry room. It was her turn to do the choir. She and Naruto had worked out a system where they rotate chores that had to be done by hand. She quickly put everything in their right piles and had started the first load. Like always, she had to double-check Naruto's vest pockets for items he had left in them. He had a bad habit of leaving things in them. One time he had left a kunai with a paper bomb on it. She checked the vest, not finding anything. Finally she checked his right pocket and felt a piece of paper. "Knew it, he always leaves something," thought Sakura as she pulled the paper out. To her surprise, it wasn't a paper bomb or even notes about some justu he was working on. Instead it was a receipt, and not just a receipt by a receipt from Golden Leaf Store. The store was the known for top-of-the-line jewelry. "What is Naruto-kun up to?" thought Sakura as she opened up the receipt and started reading. "Order number 10567082 paid in full. To Mr. Naruto Namikaze. 124-karat gold and silver engagement ring." Instantly Sakura closed the receipt. "Looks like Naruto is planning to ask you the question," said inner Sakura as Sakura tried not to think about what she had just learned. "Sakura Namikaze has a nice ring to it." "Yeah, it does," thought Sakura with a smile. She knew that someday she and Naruto would be married, but just knowing that it was coming sometime soon made her smile even more. I better find a way to give this back to Naruto-kun so that he can pick up the ring, thought Sakura. Just put it on top of his chest or drawers, he always put stuff on it, answered inner Sakura as Sakura left the machines going and went upstairs. After placing the resent in a place she knew Naruto would find, the doorbell rang. Coming, said Sakura as she walked toward the front door. She opened it to find Ino standing there. Hello forehead, said Ino. What is up Piggy, asked Sakura. Nothing much, my body is sour as hell, said Ino. Well then you and Choji should take a break for a bit. I heard from people in your apartment complex about the sounds that come from yours and Choji's apartment at night, said Sakura with a grin as Ino glared at her friend. No, it's not from that, said Ino, it's from Lady Tsunade training. It is hell on earth. That is nothing compared to Daemon Summon training, said Sakura, so why did you come here? Well, I was wondering if you heard the news, asked Ino. What news? Asked Sakura. Last night Niji asked Tenten to marry him, said Ino. Good for them, said Sakura with a smile. Just another sign that we are getting older and entering another phase of life, said Ino. I mean Naruto is the youngest of all of us at 17 and most ninjas get engaged around 18 or 19 and married normally within a year or two. Any idea on the date? Asked Sakura. They just got engaged forehead, said Ino as she crossed her arms. And you had your wedding planned out since you were 7, said Sakura. I just want to know if they have an idea. I know. 10 like spring, so I would guess around then. It would take at least a year to arrange everything, said Ino. I mean with this coming demon war a lot of people are getting married sooner than they originally planned. They want to spend time together before the end, said Sakura. Yeah, said Ino, so how have you been? Across town the main gate was opening up as Lady Tsunade along with other council members stood waiting. What are you doing here Kakashi? Asked Taisher as he noticed Kakashi standing beside Tsunade. I took you advice about picking a replacement Hokage just to be safe, said Tsunade as the council looked at her. Who? Asked Taisher. Yo, said Kakashi. What? Asked Taisher. He is a skilled ninja and highly trained, said Tsunade. He is a pervert, said Taisher. Originally you wanted Jiraiya the legendary pervert instead of me, said Tsunade as Taisher's eyes narrowed. He also trained our enemy, said Taisher. That doesn't matter, said Shikaku. I hate to break this fight up but look, said Naruto as everyone looked toward the main gate to see an older man standing there. He was dressed in full Kage robes with a dozen heavily armed Jonin surrounding him. Lord Tsuchikage, said Tsunade, so glad that you could come. I come not for this meeting but to see with my own eyes the spawn of the dreaded yellow flash, said Inoki as he looked at Naruto. You look like your father. People have told me that, said Naruto. Your father killed my son at the Battle of Kanabi Bridge, growled Inoki. I should kill you where you stand. Even if you could kill me, it wouldn't bring your son back to life any more than if I killed everyone who was responsible for my father's death, said Naruto. As hot-headed as always Inoki, said a new voice as everyone turned to a woman in her 30s. Naruto, like everyone else, was a little taken aback at her. She dressed in a slim blue dress that showed a lot of skin and even more cleavage. She had long brown hair and sea green eyes. Maybe in your age, your eyes are failing you. Mei Terumi was fighting wars when your parents were kids, said Inoki. Yes, and your age has blinded you to the fact that you are outmatched, said Mei Terumi as several mist ninjas appeared. This Namikaze could kill you and possible everyone else and we couldn't touch him. Now where are my manners? I am Mei Terumi, 5th Mizukage of Kirigakure. Well, we now had 3 out of 5 Kages, said Tsunade. Make it 4, said Naruto as the others noticed that Gaara, his siblings, Shikamaru and a team of Sand Jonin coming over a large hill. The raikage is due in the morning, said Tsunade. Then we will be off, said Inoki as he walked off along with Mei Terumi. Several council members left with them to give them a guided tour of the village. Taisher went along with Inoki. I don't trust those two together, they both hate you, said Tsunade as she looked at Haishir talking to Inoki. Let them hate me, said Naruto, we have more important things to deal with. Then hating me will not matter if we lose this war. You have really matured, Naruto, said Tsunade as Gaara and his group arrived. Shikamaru sat in his backyard just trying not to interrupt his mom and Temari, who were inside talking about different things. A few times both of them broke out laughing, something unheard of for Yoshino Nara and something Shikamaru had heard a few times from Temari. So Shikamaru, you and Temari are official? Asked his dad as he appeared beside him. As official as you can get without being engaged, said Shikamaru as his father sat down beside him. So you love her? Asked Shikaku. Yeah, she drive me up the wall and sometimes I want to pull my hair out because of her. But you wouldn't trade those moments for anything, said Shikaku, you just don't understand why you love her sometimes, you just do. Yeah, said Shikamaru. Looks like you and I have the same taste in woman, said Shikaku. I always thought you were whipped, but that isn't true, said Shikamaru. I knew you would understand in time, said Shikaku, I said the same thing about my own father. However, your grandmother and your mother never really got along like those two are. Yeah, I think they just know that mom is in charge of you and Temari is in charge of me, said Shikamaru. Maybe, said Shikaku, so are you going to leave for training again? Yeah. However, Temari is staying here, said Shikamaru, she has to carry out her job as ambassador. I see, said Shikaku. She is staying in the house you gave me, said Shikamaru as his father's eyes widened at the idea of Temari and his wife living side by side. Well, I guess I would see you more, because you will want to be with Temari, said Shikaku as he rubbed his temples. Later that night Naruto lied in bed, just looking up at the ceiling. He just couldn't sleep. Tomorrow would be the meeting that could change everything. They need to get all the nations of the world together or else they would stand no chance of winning the war. They need to throw everything they had at the enemy when it came in 3 years' time. Suddenly he felt Sakura move in her sleep. He looked down at his sleeping mate. Yes, Naruto-kun, said Sakura in her sleep, of course I will marry you, I do. I guess when I ask her to marry me I know what she will say. Thought Naruto as he moved some of Sakura's hair behind her ear. I wonder if Niji asked Tenten yet. I mean, I loaned him the extra money he needed for the perfect ring and then to make sure they did a great job I put my name on the bill. Oh well, I am sure I'll find out later. Mr. and Mrs. Namikaze, said Sakura in her sleep with a smile. Someday soon, Sakura-chan, said Naruto as he kissed Sakura's forehead before finally letting sleep take him. The next morning, in a dark stone room with only the light from a small oil candle to illuminate the darkness, the 18-year-old Sasuke Uchiha stood up from the bed. He looked down at the sleeping Karen, who was smiling in her sleep as she placed her face in his pillow as if to just smell him. Pathetic, whispered Sasuke as he quickly changed into his training gear. Sasuke-kun, yes, Sasuke-kun, more, I want more of you, moaned Karen in her sleep as she dreamed of what they had done the night before. Sasuke couldn't help himself from grinning. He may find Karen's emotional attachment to him pathetic and weak, it did help him dominate her both in and out of the bedroom. Also, he would also never admit it, but he did enjoy the physical part of the experience. Sasuke cracked his neck before looking at himself in the full-length mirror. Sasuke cracked his neck before looking toward his battle armor sitting on Human D, just waiting for him to put it on. His snake sword sat beside it. Slowly Sasuke started to put on his armor. He was about done when he heard Karen wake up. Sasuke-kun, what are you doing? Asked Karen as she sat up in bed. Don't worry about it, Karen, it doesn't concern you, said Sasuke. I beg to differ, said Karen as she stood up and pressed her body against the armored Sasuke. See, because of the ring you gave me, means I will be the future Mrs. Uchiha. Why did I ever give in to her demand for an engagement ring, thought Sasuke. Very well, I am going to the leaf on busyness, said Sasuke. Can I come? Whispered Karen into Sasuke's ear. It isn't needed, I am simply getting back what is mine, said Sasuke. Please, said Karen as she channeled some demon chakra. She transformed her tongue into its sage mode forked tongue. she hissed, letting her snake tongue wiggle around in Sasuke's ear. Even though he didn't move or smile, she could tell from the changing level of his chakra that he liked it. Very well, said Sasuke. Thank you, said Karen. The sun had came up over the leaf as the 5 Kages gathered in the council room of the Leaf Village. It had been modified for the meeting. The half-circle council table was replaced with a full circular one. Each Kage had a chair situated in front of a large flag with their village symbol. Each Kage was given 1 seat with 2 ninja guards or advisors. Before the meeting was called, Naruto watched as Haishir talked with the rock leader. The Raikage was an extremely muscular man who kept his shirt open. Behind him stood another built man with 7 swords in different locations across his body. A and his brother Killer B, said Tsunade. Killer B is a Jinchuriki, stated Naruto as Tsunade looked at him. How do you know? Asked Tsunade. I just know, stated Naruto. That may help us, said Tsunade as Haishir stopped talking to the Tsuchikage and walked up to Tsunade. Well, it's time to get started, said Haishir as he looked toward Naruto. Leave Demon, Kakashi and I will be Lady Tsunade's backup. Very well, said Naruto as he started to leave the room. Okay, as the leader of the Leaf Village Council, I welcome you all to a meeting of the Kages, said Haishir as he looked up to see Naruto standing by the door. Naruto Namikaze, you are not allowed to take part in this meeting. The Leaf has its representatives, stated Haishir. I am not here representing the Leaf, said Naruto as Haishir glared at him. What are you talking about? Asked Haishir. He is here to be my guard, stated a new voice as a ball of flames appeared in front of Naruto. Out of that flames appeared a large fox. He had dark orange fur, the tips of his pure white razor-sharp teeth stuck out from his lips. He had black marks around the eyes and ears. However, the key fact that made most people blood turn to ice was the fact that 9 tails moved slowly behind him. I am Lord Kyubi, ruler of the Demon Fox. Who invited you? Yelled Haishir. I did, said Tsunade as Haishir looked at her. We are here to talk about the coming demon war. It makes sense to have the demon lords gather with us. Demon lords? Asked Haishir as the door opened and Sakura and Shikamaru entered. A second later, a bluish-gray patrol opened in front of Shikamaru as a large wolf walked out. He was covered with dark gray fur with bluish-gray across his back. His sharp razor-sharp teeth could be seen as his dark blue eyes scanned the room. I am Hatch-Hai, ruler of the demon wolves, said Hatch-Hai, and this is my demon summoner Shikamaru Nara. Suddenly 2 more puffs of smoke appeared beside Shikamaru. Out of one of the smokes appeared a female lion with tan fur and deep golden eyes. I am Seatlali, lord of all demon lions, said Seatlali as the other Kages noticed that she was female. This is my demon summoner Hinata Hyuga. This was the first time that anyone had seen Hinata in over a year, and over that year she had drastically changed. She was taller and stood defiant. She had on a light blue sleeveless top with a deep V cut showing more skin than anyone had seen. She had on a dark blue skirt that ended around that same level as Sakura's. Like Sakura, she now had on boots and gloves. However, unlike any of the others, she had a white head-to-toe clock. Tsunade could see a quiver full of arrows on her back along with a bow. On top of the change of outfit, she looked stronger, more sure of herself. She looked taller and more developed as the young woman she was. An archer, kind of rare in the ninja world, but combined with the Byakugan is a powerful mix, thought Tsunade as she looked at the older Hinata. But why a white cloak? Suddenly Tsunade noticed that part of Hinata's cloak was on the ground and it had taken on the same color of the floor. So it changes color to match the background of the area, thought Tsunade. That would allow her to hide in plain sight. Hello Hinata, said Haishir. Father, said Hinata with disdain in her voice. You have been gone for a while, but now that you are back you will never leave again, said Haishir with a grin as suddenly Hinata started laughing. You know, I would like to see you try and stop me, said Hinata. I am your father and clan leader, said Haishir. You gave me to another clan father, said Hinata. I still can use the bird cage seal on you, said Haishir as Hinata smiled before lifting up her now longer bangs to show her forehead. her now seal-less forehead. What seal? Asked Hinata. How could you remove the bird cage seal? Asked Haishur. Demon chakra, it broke your weak human seal, answered Citlali. I hate to break up this family reunion, but can we start this meeting? Asked Meiterumi. I have a question, how can you demons be around? Asked the Raikage. Only the Kyubi is a tailed beast. The tailed beast, as you call them, are lower level demons, who are uncivilized animals compared to us, said Hatch High. Like ancient barbarians, said Sakura. Sakura Haruno, you are a guard and are not allowed to speak, said Haishur. Only the Kages are to speak. Isn't that what you are doing now, Haishur? Asked Tsunade as Haishur glared at him. It doesn't stop her from being correct, does she? Asked Meiterumi. No, it doesn't, said Kyubi. Haishur, if you insult or tell my summoners what they can or can't do, I will rip your face off. No, will not, Kyubi, said Citlali as everyone turned to look toward the leader of the demon loins. I will have first go at the son of a bitch, if we do it. Fine, said Kyubi. I believe we have gotten off course, said Gaara. Too right, we need to decide what we are going to do about this demon war, said Meiterumi. I still am not sure that this demon war is real, said Inoki as the other Kages looked at him. You still can't be thinking this is a trick? Asked A as he slammed his fist on the table before standing up. We have 3 demon lords in front of us. It could all trick done by the leaf to lure us into a trap and then destroy us with their one real demon, the Kyubi, said Inoki. They are real demons, and they are powerful, said Killer B. And how can you be sure, Muscles? Asked Meiterumi. I thought you were with us already, asked Gaara. I was with you since we got the message a year ago, said the Mizukage Meiterumi. However, like all good players, I like to keep my moves secret and of course know how someone can tell a demon is really a demon. I am a Jinchuriki, answered Killer B. I have the 8-tailed ox within me. Ah, I was wondering why you seemed different, said Haishur High as he looked at Killer B. I should have known. The Ox Demon class is the most civilized under us, said Citlali. However, their power is not at the same level as us. Do you still need proof? Asked Meiterumi as she looked at Inoki. It can still be a trap, said Inoki. Suddenly all the Kages started auguring with each other. Only Gaara and Tsunade just stood back and watched. The demons just sat there and watched as well. Is this how human politicians normally work? Asked Citlali. Yell and scream at each other until someone gives up? Yes, and in 99% of the time they get nothing done, said Hatch High. Sadly, he is correct, said Kyubi as the 3 Kages stood up and yelled at the top of their lungs. You are an old fool, Inoki, yelled Meiterumi. I have the most combat experience of anyone in this room. How dare you call me a fool, yelled Inoki. You also lost the most battles of anyone here, responded A. This is going nowhere, said Tsunade. Did you expect it? Asked Haishur. You were dumb to even bring them here. 5 different powers will never get along. Their goals are too different. I just thought they would see the threat and realize that we need to work together, said Tsunade mostly to herself, but Haishur decided to bash Tsunade some more. You are an idiotic fool, said Haishur as Tsunade looked toward Naruto. Unlike everyone else who was watching the yelling agreement, he was looking up toward the closed sitting area. You are enjoying this, aren't you? Asked Naruto as everyone turned and looked at him. What are you talking about, Namikaze? Yelled Inoki. I wasn't talking to you, said Naruto as he looked toward a dark spot in the sitting area. Tsunade's eyes widened as she finally saw who Naruto was talking to. There stood an older Sasuke Uchiha and the red-haired Karen. A little, said Sasuke. It's funny to watch your hopes and dreams fall apart. Who are you, cutely? Asked Meiterumi. I wouldn't call Sasuke Uchiha cutely, you old hag, said Karen as she pulled out a crossbow and aimed it at Meiterumi. This crossbow bolt is laced with the most deadly poison, and if you call my man cutely one more time, the bolt will go through your head. If you do that I drop you, said Hinata as she aimed her own arrow at Karen. You can't shoot me, said Karen. We can't kill each other until the war starts. The demon code says so. Actually, we can kill any spies we may find, said Hatch High, and you two are spying right now. We are not spying, said Sasuke. Why reason would we need to spy on you? Then why are you here? Growled Sakura. Two things, said Sasuke, first to inform you I have taken back what is mine. What are you talking about? Asked Haishur. The clan's records, said Sasuke. You can't have those, they belong to the Leaf Village, yelled Haishur. No, they belong to the Uchiha clan, said Sasuke, and as the last Uchiha I have the right to those records. Well, he will not be the last for long, said Karen with a grin. So Sasuke finally settled down with a girl, too bad she is just as big as a snake as him, stated Temari. Shut up wolf bitch, said Sasuke as he looked at Temari, just because you have some demon chakra in you now because you apparently mated with Shikamaru doesn't give you the right to talk when a man is talking. Why you sexist piece of trash, snapped Sakura as her eyes turned silted with demon chakra. Same goes for you fox whore, said Sasuke. Sakura wanted to charge forward and rip Sasuke's face off. However, Naruto stopped here. Sakura-chan, I wish I could help you rip his face off, but he can't hurt us right now, just like we can't hurt him, said Naruto. So Naruto can control his woman, said Sasuke. Sakura is the woman I love and my partner, we are equal, snapped Naruto. It is never equal, someone is always in control, answered Sasuke. What is the second reason you are here? Asked Naruto as Sasuke jumped down, landing on the table. To inform the leaders of Kirigakure, Kumogakure and Iwagakure that if they fight against us in the coming war you will all be killed, said Sasuke. And what if we don't? Asked Inoki. Then only most of you will die, said Sasuke with a grin. How about we kill you? No, yelled Killer Bee as he pulled one of his swords and went in to cut Sasuke's head off. Sasuke rolled his eyes as Sasuke pulled his own sword and cut Killer Bee's sword in half. Killer Bee's eyes widened as Sasuke's hand snapped forward, grabbing Killer Bee's neck. I should kill you for trying to do that, said Sasuke. The demon code allows me to defend myself, so the others can't save you. And we can kill spies, said Naruto as he grabbed Sasuke's arm. So let him go and we will let you go. I guess that works, Namikaze, said Sasuke as he let Killer Bee go. Instantly Killer Bee fell to the ground trying to get back his breath. However, the former teammates glared at each other. I will enjoy standing over your body as you breath your last. We will see about that, Sasuke, but in the meantime, you go crawl back into whatever hell hole you came from, said Sasuke. Very well. Just remember, in 3 years you're a dead man, said Sasuke. With that, both Sasuke and Karen faded away into nothingness. Now you see what we are dealing with, said Tsunade, and why we need to work together to fight this war. How can we fight this war when they can beat a Jinchuriki with ease? Asked Inoki. We should just hunker down and hide. Let the demons fight it out. I guess a coward would want to do that, said Killer Bee as he looked at his brother. We need to fight. You seem defeat very easy by him, said every little bit help brother, you never know when a single soldier makes the difference between victory and defeat, said Killer Bee. I agree, said Meiterumi, we are in. As are us, said A. Finally everyone looked at Inoki. No, this is a lie, said Inoki, that was a Uchiha and that means he is from the Leaf. That means this is a trap, and if you all want to fall for, go right ahead, but my village will not take part in it. Well, then you can head back home and wait for your death, said Citlali as Inoki and his team stormed out. Shall we talk about battle plan? Asked Hatch High. I want to send a message back to my village informing them about the alliance, said Meiterumi. As do I, said A. Why don't we meet again tomorrow, said Tsunade. Works for me, said A as Meiterumi nodded her head. Then we will meet tomorrow, said Kyubi as he and Hatch High disappeared. Hinata. Yes, Lady Citlali. Why don't you spend the rest of the day here, said Citlali. Are you sure, my lady? I can always train some more, said Hinata. You have been training for over a year, spend some time with your friends, said Citlali as Hinata smiled. Thank you, said Hinata. And if you kill your father, it's fine by me, said Citlali as she disappeared. Outside the door of the council room stood Kiba, Choji, Ino and their parents. A few moments before Inoki had stormed out followed by his aides. This can't be good, said Tsum as minute later Haishir stormed out. Tsum followed him down the corridor. Later Naruto, Sakura and Shikamaru walked out. Right behind them was a tall woman about their age. At first he didn't realize who it was. However, when she turned her head and showed her white Byakugan eyes, it was Hinata. Hinata? Asked Kiba as Hinata looked toward him. At first he was worried, but slowly Hinata smiled. Hello Kiba, said Hinata. Well, looks like Hinata is back, said Ino. For a little bit at least. After the meeting tomorrow I expect I will be heading back to the demon world, said Hinata as Kiba lowered his head a bit. Well, in that case, we should all go out and get something to eat, said Choji. My family just opened a new food stand and it has the best barbecue pork. Choji-kun, that will not work, said Ino as Choji blinked. Oh, yeah, said Choji as he looked at Naruto and Sakura. You're banded and I wouldn't be surprised if they refuse to seat Shikamaru and Hinata because of being demon summoners. I know a place where we can go, said Naruto. Don't worry, I will not tell my dad about your place, said Choji. Alright, there is a place in the 9th district, said Naruto. The 9th? Asked Ino. That place is a rat hole. Not anymore, said Naruto as he ran no hand signs. When he finished he slammed his hand onto the ground, causing a small one-tailed demon fox to appear. The fox looked just like any fox a person would see in the forest. Ah, Lord Naruto, what can I do for you? Asked the fox. Yes, Ira, I need you to find Niji and Tenten. Do you remember when I showed you their photos? Asked Naruto. They are the male with the long dark hair and white eyes and the female with buns in her hair, said Ira. Yes. Can you find them and then tell them we are meeting at a restaurant called the Leaf Dragon in the 9th district, said Naruto. No problem, sir, said Ira as he ran off down the corridor so fast that he actually slid into the wall because he couldn't grip the floor. Who was that? Asked Ino. He is Ira the massager fox who is assigned to me by the Kyuubi, said Naruto as Ira jumped back to his feet and ran down the hallway. He is just young, only a 2 million. 2 million years? Asked Ino. That is young. For demons it is, said Hinata. He has to be talented to be a massager at that age. Basically for demons, being a massager at 2 millions is like becoming a genin when you're 4 years old for a human, said Shikamaru. Shall we get going? Asked Sakura. Yeah, said Hinata as they started walking away. Only Shikamaru stood still. Hey, Shikamaru, we are leaving, yelled Kiba. Go ahead, I'll meet you there, answered Shikamaru. I am waiting for Temari. You are whipped, said Kiba. I wouldn't say that again if I were you, said Temari as she walked out. Alright then. Now that you are here, can we head out? Said Kiba as they all headed out. Meanwhile in the doorway, Tsunade couldn't help but smile as she looked at the next generation walk away. It was kind of funny how they paired off. Shikamaru and Temari, Ino and Choji, Hinata and Kiba, and lastly Naruto and Sakura. They will change the world, said Tsunade. Yeah, they kind of already did that, said Kakashi. Yeah, somehow I know those 8 young ninjas will one day become legends, said Tsunade. Kiba didn't know what to say as they walked through the leaf. He just couldn't bring himself to talk to Hinata. He had dreamed about her every night, dreaming what she looked like now and doing some very mature things with her. However, now that she was right beside him, he didn't know what to say. They walked through the streets until they finally reached a surprising nice-looking restaurant. It was located just inside the outer wall. Naruto and the others walked in and instantly the owner ran up to them. To Kiba's amazement, instead of ordering Naruto out, the owner shook his hand. Mr. Namikaze, what can I do for you today? Asked the owner. Well, I was hoping you would have a table open for me and my friends to have a late lunch, asked Naruto. Of course, we always have a table open for the man who saved my business from closing, said the owner as he led them toward some tables which were pushed together by the staff, forming a large table. We do have 2 more people coming, said Naruto. I hope that is okay. That is fine, said the owner. Now what can I get for you all? After placing their orders, Sakura turned to Temari. I am judging from that little bit of a tattoo showing itself from under your robe that you and Shikamaru are mated, asked Sakura as Shikamaru blushed a bit. And what if we are? Asked Temari calmly as she drank some tea. Nothing, I am just wondering how that works. That seal is a demon seal and only demons have it. Said Sakura. She could tell that Kiba was listening very closely to what they were saying. Kiba will learn what is in for if he does end up with Hinata. Thought Sakura. More of a when than if. Added inner Sakura as she noticed how Hinata had been looking at Kiba. Hinata's quick glances at Kiba was almost too fast for a normal ninja to see, but for a demon summoner it was clear where she was looking. In some levels you could say I am one now. Said Temari as the others looked at her. Tala said when Shikamaru bite my neck he transferred some demon chakra into me, not a lot and I can't summon anything but it was enough to form the seal. I see, said Ino as she noticed Tenten and Niji entering the restaurant. The newly engaged couple sat down at the table and instantly joined the conversation. Congratulations on your engagement, said Sakura as Tenten smiled before looking down at her ring with a smile on her face. Thanks, said Tenten. Naruto before I forget, said Niji as he pulled out some money out of his wallet. I told you, you don't have to pay me back, said Naruto, it was only $150 and what are friends for? Still take it, said Niji as Naruto took the money. What was that for? Asked Sakura. Because of Haishi's sudden need to demanded payment to allow me join to the Hyuga clan, Nijis was a little short on the money to buy the ring, said Tenten. He made you pay for the right to marry the woman you love? Asked Sakura as Niji nodded his head. Because according to him Tenten is of a lower class outside of even the lower Hyuga house standard, said Niji. Only the fact that I am so good at weapons and my folks own the best weapon shop in the Leaf was I allowed to be engaged to Niji, added Tenten. That son of a bitch, said Ino. Sounds like something my father would do, said Hinata. Because of that Niji wouldn't have had the money in time to pay for the ring before my birthday so Naruto loaned him the money, added Tenten. He also put the order in his name, said Niji. People tend to take more care when they see the Namikaze's name, said Naruto as he pulled the receipt out, the same receipt that Sakura had saved from going through the wash. I finally found the order receipt. I don't really need that, said Niji as Naruto placed the receipt back into his pocket. So the ring isn't for me, thought Sakura, slightly disappointed by the fact. Long time no see, Hinata, said Niji. Yes, it has been a long time, cousin, said Hinata. You seem stronger, said Niji. I am stronger, answered Hinata with such force in her voice that Niji was taken aback. Maybe after lunch I can show you. Are you challenging me to a fight? Asked Niji. Over the past year Niji had taken up the role of an ANBU commander and was among the strongest of the ANBU. Yes, answered Hinata. Very well, said Niji. Kiba was a little taken aback by the change in Hinata. Just then their food arrived and everyone started eating. So any date for the wedding? Asked Ino. We finally settled on May 5th of next year, said Tenten. I'll make sure to be back for that, said Hinata. So Hinata, how was your training? Asked Kiba as he finally talked to her. Hard, there were many days when I thought I couldn't move another inch but I soon saw the gains from such training, said Hinata. Have you mastered Sage Mode? Asked Shikamaru. Yes, I can stay in for just over 7 minutes, said Hinata. About the same amount of time as me, said Sakura as she ate her meal. So how strong are you guys right now? Asked Kiba. Basically if they wanted to one of them could kill everyone in the Leaf without getting anything worse than a scratch, said Temari. Thank God they are on our side, said Tenten. But in a way we aren't, said Hinata as they looked at her. I mean there are 4 demon summoners on the enemy side and they are at least as powerful as us. Can we not talk about this war? Asked Ino. Alright, said Naruto as they started talking about how much things had changed. Instead of hiding in the background only saying a line or two, Hinata took an active role in the conversation. Instead Kiba stood back and watched amazed at how much Hinata had changed. After an hour and a half they headed toward the training field. Near the main gate Inoki was preparing to leave to head back to the rock village. He was about to head out when Haishur Hyuga walked up to him. "Lord Tsuchikage, a moment if you will," said Haishur. "You have a minute," said Inoki. "I am in no mood to deal with your leaf tricks." "I am sorry, but this is no trick, there are demons coming," said Haishur. "I didn't believe coming from your Hokage. Why do you think I would believe it coming from you?" asked Inoki. "Our Hokage is a fool and we should have killed the demon child a long time ago. He brought the war to us," said Haishur. "I believe we should let the demons destroy each other, but our Hokage is marking toward war." "What do you want?" asked Inoki. "To save my clan from the foolishness of the Hokage," said Haishur. "And how do you plan to do that?" asked Inoki. "During the war you lost many of your high-level clans," said Haishur. "How you would like a replacement?" "So you want to bring your clan to the rock?" asked Inoki. "Only the main house, the lower house is useless," said Haishur. "Don't tell me you wouldn't kill to have the power of the Hyuga clan." "I get the power of the Hyuga clan for my village and you get a seat on the council?" asked Inoki. "No, I want my clan to have a seat as the head of your council. Forever," said Haishur with a grin. "With that you get the power of the Byakugan and the wealth of the Hyuga clan." "I like those," said Inoki with a smile. "However, I will need time to think about it." "You have until the demon war comes," stated Haishur. Across the village Niji and Hinata stood across from each other in a woodland training field. Naruto and the others stood in nearby trees waiting for the battle to come. "Hinata, I know you have gotten stronger, but I have gotten stronger as well," said Niji as he got into a stance. "Niji, you are my cousin and probably the only Hyuga who I consider family, but you can't win," said Hinata as she just stood there, her Byakugan not even activated. "Whenever you're ready." "I'll give you the first move," said Niji. "Very well," said Hinata as she ran through hand signs so fast that Niji couldn't follow. Lion-style howling roar. With that a gale force wind blew through the forest, sticks and dirt was kicked up into the air. Niji had to close his eyes because of the dirt. When he opened his eyes Hinata was gone. "Hiding will not help you," said Niji as he activated his Byakugan. He expected to spot Hinata instantly, however Hinata was nowhere to be seen. "Having trouble, Niji?" asked Hinata's voice from all around him. "Just because I can't see you doesn't mean you can beat me," said Niji. "Niji, I have been trained to strike slightly and unseen. In fact, you will only know I am there when my arrow goes through your heart," said Hinata as Niji kept turning trying to find the source of Hinata's voice, but it was coming from all around him. "However, I have something else in mind." Suddenly 2 arrows flew out of nowhere, hitting Niji's long shirt. He was sent backwards, pinning him to a large tree. Before Niji could move, 6 more arrows shot out of the woods hitting his cloths but not him. However, he was now pinned against the tree. He tried to pull himself off only to see 2 more arrows aimed at his eyes. However, these arrows had not been fired, they were still in the bow. "What the?" asked Ino as she looked at the scene. Niji was pinned against a tree, but out nowhere a hand was floating in midair holding a bow. The bow was held horizontally with 2 arrows in it. "I win," stated Hinata's voice as suddenly the forest changed. What once looked like just normal grass turned white as Hinata appeared. Niji's eyes widened as he looked into Hinata's eyes. She had the Byakugan activated, but instead of the normal all-white orbs there was a silver-silted cat eye. "You win," said Niji as Hinata lowered her bow. "Wow," said Choji. "Hinata just beat Niji in under a minute." Hinata pulled the arrows out of Niji's cloths, freeing him from the tree. "It's getting late and I need to get some sleep," said Ino. "I have an early shift at the hospital tomorrow." "Yeah, Jiraiya is having me go to someplace called Mount Mayaboku for a month," said Choji. "So you two are really going home to have sex before you leave?" asked Sakura as the 2 of them glared at her. "That is none of your business, forehead," said Ino as the 2 of them took off. "I'll take that as a yes," said Sakura. "You know, I still find it hard to believe those 2 ended up together," said Shikamaru. "Yeah, I am too," said Sakura, the queen of popular with someone who we always considered a nerd. However, things change and they love each other. Besides, ever since he started training with Jiraiya, he seems more muscular than anything else. Yeah, said Temari. It also helps that Jiraiya gave him that perverted idea of using his clan's body expansion just to make his. Started Naruto only to get a death glare from hell from Sakura. Finish that sentence and you will be sleeping on the couch for a week, alone, stated Sakura as Naruto instantly shut up. Wow, looks like Sakura knows the right buttons to push to get Naruto to do what she says, said Kiba. All women know how to do that to men, said Shikamaru, just wait till it happens to you. We better get going too, said Sakura. Wait, where is Hinata going to stay? Asked Kiba as everyone looked at him. We are arranged to get married, so with you, said Hinata from down below, unless you want to call it off. No, said Kiba, but I warn you, I live alone now and it isn't the cleanest place. Kiba, if it was neat and clean then it wouldn't fit your personally, answered Hinata. Sorry about the mess, said Kiba as he opened the front door to his apartment. The Inuzuka clan wasn't the Hyuga clan or the Nara clan with the massive compound that allowed the children of the main clan house to live within the compound. No, the Inuzuka clan tradition was for their kids to live a few years off the compound until they moved back onto the compound, with a family in tow. No problem, said Hinata as she walked into the single-bedroom apartment. The kitchen had dirty pots and pans in the sink, the small table in the living room had dirty dishes from breakfast. The living room included a small couch and a coffee table which was currently covered with paperwork, probably mission reports. All over the floor was dirty laundry. Akamaru, said Kiba as the sleeping dog looked up from his spot in by the window. The giant dog looked up and instantly jumped to his feet. He ran toward Hinata, however when he reached the title's floor in the kitchen and hallway he slid into Kiba and Hinata. The mass of Akamaru caused the two of them to fall down. Hinata on top of Kiba, her face on his chest. Sorry about that, said Kiba with a blush, he hasn't mastered walking on tile yet. That is okay, said Hinata as the two of them stood up but remained close. For a moment they just stood there looking at each other until Akamaru pulled them apart with his body. He looked up at Hinata and gave a large bark. Yes, I missed you, said Hinata as she pet the large dog. Meanwhile at the Namikaze estate, Naruto stood behind the basement bar with Sakura, Shikamaru and Temari sitting on stools at the front of the bar. So how bad is it? Asked Naruto. Intelligence from all three demon races confirms that their army is at least 4 million demons strong, said Shikamaru as he looked into his glass of whiskey. Our side can maybe put 2 million demons in the field, said Naruto as Sakura rubbed her temples. So we will be outnumbered 2-1, said Sakura. At least, said Temari, our only strength is on average our forces are stronger. Strength versus numbers, said Sakura, numbers tend to win. Alright, say we can put all our forces into the battle, plus the forces of the ninja villages minus the rock, what are the odds of us winning? Asked Naruto. In reality? Asked Shikamaru. I don't really need to know anything else, said Naruto. We are talking at least a 50% casualty rate in the first battle, maybe 75% by the end of the war, said Shikamaru as he downed his drink before pouring another drink. If we win, that is. I can't think what the village would be like with half the population gone, said Naruto. You misunderstand, Naruto, said Shikamaru, that was the average number of demons' lives lost. We can accept at something around 80% casualty rates for human ninjas just in the first battle. My god, said Sakura as Naruto looked down at his glass. Most ninjas equal about a half-tailed demon, said Temari, stronger ones like the Kages, Kakashi, myself and maybe Ino and Choji depending on their training may be able to fight a 2 or 3-tailed demon. When are you planning to tell the Kages? Asked Naruto. We weren't, said Shikamaru as Naruto looked at him, even though we will lose a lot of people we need them in order to have any chance of winning. If they back out now then we have no real hope. We can't lie to them, said Naruto. We have to. I haven't even told my brothers about this data, said Temari, it is either that or let everyone die. I am with Naruto, we can't do that, said Sakura. There is one battle plan we came up with that may lower the casualty rates, said Shikamaru as Temari looked at him. Shikamaru, you know that idea is suicidal and has almost no chance of working, said Temari. What is it? Asked Naruto. A couple of hours later, while Hinata was in the shower, Kiba rushed around his apartment trying to get it as clean as possible. However, he couldn't stop himself from stopping by the closed bathroom door and just listened to Hinata sing in the shower. To his ears it sounded like a choir of angels singing. Flashback. Kurenai-sensei, why do we have to stop here? Asked the 12-year-old Kiba as he, Shino, Hinata and their Jonin instructor Kurenai set up camp near a small waterfall. Because this campsite has a good source of water, the sun is going down and we are more than 14 hours away from the leaf, said Kurenai. We will reach the leaf tomorrow. Kurenai-sensei is right, water is very important for a good camp, said Shino. Fine, said Kiba as they started making camp. A few hours later, night had fallen as the young team sat around a roaring fire. Good work on your first mission outside the village, said Kurenai. I don't really helping so rich lady track down a rare flower for her collection a real mission, said Kiba as Akamaru barked in agreement. We all start with the basics, Kiba, said Kurenai. Kurenai-sensei, is it alright if I go take a shower? Asked Hinata. Sure, just be careful, said Kurenai as Hinata took off toward the distant waterfall. For a while nothing happened, and then a sound reached Kiba's ears. It was faint, but he could just make out Hinata's voice. However, instead of her normal soft shuddering voice, it was sweet and beautiful song. Kiba just sat back and listened to the singing coming from Hinata, and her angle voice. The sun wasn't even up over the leaf as Asuma stood just outside the main gate. He was doing something he always hated, early morning gate patrol. He was maybe a quarter of a mile outside the main gate, and normally he would have been able to see the gate or at least the lights coming from village, but an early morning fog filled the air. He pulled a cigarette out his pack and placed it between his lips. Ever since his and Kurenai's son was born he had been trying to quit, but so far he had only been able to go down by a half. He had just pulled the lighter when a sense of dread filled the air as the fog thickened. He slowly lit his cigarette as he scanned the thickening fog. Suddenly the sound of footsteps filled the air as a dark figure appeared. The figure stopped just outside of the sight range of Asuma. Asuma could just man out his all-black cloak. Good morning, isn't it a little early to be traveling? Asked Asuma as the figure just stood there. A ninja of the leaf? I was wondering when I would run into some of you, said the figure in a cold tone that made even Asuma scared. Who are you? Asked Asuma, trying not to show his fear of the man hiding in the fog. I come to speak to the Kages about the demon war, said the figure as he walked forward. You haven't said your name? Asked Asuma as he pulled his trench knives. Suddenly the figure moved his hands, the knives flew out of his hands. My name is unimportant, I am the new leader of Amigakure, said the voice as he moved closer and Asuma got a good look at the man. He was tall with bright orange hair and Rain Village headband on his head. However, his headband had a slash through it. It was the eyes what most creeped him out. They were circles within circle. However, if you have to know, I am pain. The early morning found the remaining Kages back in the meeting room along with the demon lords. So what is our plan? Asked A. Well, first let me show you the battlefield, said Shikamaru as he walked toward a huge map of the ninja world that had been set up overnight. The site with a quarter of a mile inside the leaf, northern border with Earth and 10 miles away from Rain Country. We have the mountains to one of our side, which means we will not have to worry as much as being flanked, said Mei Terumi. If we were fighting humans you would be correct, but demons can move a lot easier than humans through terrain, said Kyubi. Those mountains will only slow them down, nothing more. Then what are our plans? Asked A. We are outnumbered but our forces man for man are stronger, said Hachi-Hai. That is why we can't throw everything we have into one massive battle. We need to outthink them, not outfight them. What about death rate? Asked Gaara as Shikamaru looked down. 80%. Said Shikamaru as the Kage's eyes widened. Is that a worst case? Asked Mei Terumi. No, said Temari, that is the average. That is why we have crafted a plan that we hope will destroy a lot of enemy without losing many lives, said Shikamaru as a knock came from the door. Slowly the door opened as Asuma entered the room. What is it, Asuma? Asked Tsunade. Well, the leader of the Hidden Rain village is here, said Asuma. Hanzo the salamander? Asked Tsunade. He is dead, I killed him myself, said a voice as a man with bright orange hair and a long solid black robe walked in. During the Civil War. Who are you? Asked I am Pain, stated Pain as the leaders all looked at each other. Something isn't right, thought Naruto as he looked at the man. He just screamed evil, and apart from the red clouds his robes was a perfect match for an Akatsuki cloak. Also, all the piercings didn't sit right with Naruto. Why have you come? Asked Gaara. We learned of this meeting and came to inform you we have a way to defeat the demons, said Pain. Instantly all the Kages looked at him. Even the demon lords were wondering where he was going. We use a sealing to seal them away, said Pain. Like what we do for the lower level demons, said Mei Terumi. That will not work. Any demon who isn't district or weakened will simply break out of any seal, said Hatch High. We have developed this, said Pain as he tossed a black metal rod onto the table. This channels chakra and we are currently lacing it through our village to create a giant seal. All that is required is to bring the demons into the seal and then activate the seal. Still will not work, you would need to have an unearthly amount of chakra to carry it out, said Temari. Or demon chakra, said Shikamaru, it may work and it would risk a lot less lives. What of your village, wouldn't this destroy it? Asked Tsunade. Our village has been torn apart by countless wars in the past and we will rebuild again after this, stated Pain. However, by sacrificing our village we will be the road to peace. I like this plan, but what will you seal them into? Asked Gaara. We have a few ideas, stated Pain. We could stage a retreat of one of the demon lords and they may follow them into the trap, said A. But why would they follow one demon lord? Why not stay and gang up on the two remaining lords? Asked Gaara. We would have to entice them with something they are sure to go after, answered A. Something that would make them overrule common sense to stay. Then I am your best bet, said Kyubi as the others looked at him. Not only does the snake demon lord want to kill me, but so does the shark demon lord. Why would they both want you dead? Asked Tsunade. Seamus and I just simply hate each other and always have since we meet on the battlefield of the First War, stated Kyubi. As for Nai, when you kill someone's only son they tend to want you dead. Also Sasuke, said Naruto, he will go after me. What about the seal? You will have to activate it inside the city center, and if they are close on your tail you may get sealed as well, said Citlali. It's a risk worth taking, said Kyubi. Shikamaru, keep your plan ready just in case we need it, ordered Haishur High. I will take my leave, ordered Pain as he turned to leave. Something isn't right, thought Naruto as he watched this Pain leave the room. He is up to something. Well, since this pretty much frees up my day, I think I will get an early head start home, said Mei Terumi. Let's meet again in a year's time, shall we? Agreed, said A as the two of them stood up and quickly left. Lady Tsunade, I have some things to talk with you about. Can we go to your office? Asked Gaara as Tsunade and Gaara left, leaving only the demons. I don't trust this Pain, stated Naruto. Something isn't right. I know, said Kyubi, but drop it, Naruto. What? Asked Sakura. A guy walks in and claims to have the solution to all our problems and you aren't even worried. We are worried, Sakura, said Hatch High. However, in a time of war, you have to make deals with unknowns and hope for the best. Can we at least find out about who he is? Asked Naruto. Sorry, all our spies are busy trying to figure out about the other demons, said Hatch High. We have none to spare. Maybe Jiraiya will know, but he left over an hour ago with Choji, said Naruto, and they will not be back for at least a month. Then deal with it when he gets back, snapped Kyubi before he backed up and rubbed his face with his tail. Sorry Naruto, I haven't been getting much sleep. That is okay, Lord Kyubi, said Naruto, you just need a day off or sleep in one day. Speaking of sleeping in, where is your demon summoner, Hinata? Asked Hatch High as he turned and looked at Citlali. She is sleeping in with her new mate if that is what you are asking, stated Citlali. So Hinata and Kiba did it on their first night together, asked Naruto only to get slapped across the arm by Sakura. Their business isn't our business, stated Sakura. Is that a problem? Asked Citlali as she glared at Naruto. No, they look good together, said Naruto. Are you sure it is wise for Hinata to end up with a man who has a link with dogs? Asked Hatch-High as Citlali glared at him. She is a lion now. And a lion can't love another creature. Hatch-High. What about Antonenko? Snapped Citlali as Hatch-High lowered his head. Sorry, I forgot, said Hatch-High. Hard to imagine you would forget why your younger brother died, snapped Citlali. Besides, Hinata is a human and so is Kiba. So lion or not, they can be together. Sorry, said Hatch-High as Citlali disappeared. You really pissed her off with that comment, said the Kyuubi. I am glad it wasn't me. I know, said Hatch-High. She will forgive you in time, said Kyuubi. I hope so, said Hatch-High as he too disappeared. What was that? Asked Sakura. Basically, long ago, Citlali fell in love with Hatch-High younger brother, said Kyuubi. But wolf and lion? Asked Shikamaru. They are two separate races. There is a way, said Kyuubi, to change the race of a demon and make a wolf into a lion or anything else. How? Asked Temari. By giving up all your demon chakra to the statue of the race you want to become, said Kyuubi. The statue takes your chakra, changes it, and then reform your body into that race. But no chakra means death, said Sakura, repeating out of Medical 101 book. That is why some die, said Kyuubi, and the great leap between races, the greater chance of death, like wolf to lion, is more dangerous than wolf to fox. And Hatch-High brother died doing this? Asked Shikamaru as the Kyuubi nodded his head. Yes, traditionally it is the female that changes, but Citlali was the only child of the leader of the lion, which made her next in line, said Kyuubi, so he had to go through the change, and he didn't make it. So that is why she got made at Hatch-High, said Sakura. To lose someone you love isn't something you just forget, said Kyuubi. Believe me, I know. Back at Kiba's apartment, Hinata was putting on her shirt for the second, or was it the third time? She didn't know and didn't really care. She just wished she didn't have to leave, but duty called and she had to get back to her training. Why can't you do your training here, like Naruto and Sakura? Asked Kiba as he lied in the bed. Because Sakura can learn from Naruto the ways of demon foxes, and the only place I can learn is in the demon lion realm, said Hinata. I wish I could at least go with you, said Kiba, but Naruto said something about having to be a demon. You are part demon now, Kiba, said Hinata with a smile. That means you can come and visit any time you want. Anytime? Asked Kiba with a grin. I would come all the time. Kiba-kun, my sensei may have given us the morning, but that was rare and I really don't like to rush the kind of things you are thinking about. Also, I'll make a point to come back more often, said Hinata with a wink as she kissed Kiba goodbye before disappearing back to the demon world. Hours later and miles away, a man dressed in a blue robe sat on a rock near a large river. In his hands he held a pipe which he blew bubbles out. Utakata, container of the six-tailed slug, said a voice in the woods as the man looked toward the source to see 6 people standing there. All but the middle one had on a black cloak with red clouds on it. The one who didn't only had a solid black. Who are you? Asked Utakata as the middle one looked at him. We are Pain, and your death will build the future to peace, stated Pain. You're the Akatsuki, aren't you? Asked Utakata as Pain nodded his head. But I heard you were all dead. You heard wrong, said another voice as Utakata looked toward a tree to see another man in a Akatsuki cloak, however he had on a mask. Why are you here? Asked Pain. I came to ask you about your mission to the leaf, answered Madara Uchiha. I will inform you once I return with the Jinchuriki, answered Pain. Very well, just make sure to put your regular cloak back on, ordered Madara as he disappeared. Now surrender, Utakata, stated Pain. Never, said Utakata as one of the Pains moved forward. Very well, you will feel pain, stated Pain. Later that night all seemed normal at the Namikaze estate, however something was out of the normal. Normally Naruto and Sakura would be sleeping side by side, but instead Sakura slept alone. She had gone to bed early thinking that Naruto was staying up late looking over family justice from the records. However, Naruto wasn't even at the compound, he was standing on a rooftop across the village waiting. Finally a figure appeared on the rooftop. "You are late," stated Naruto. "Sorry, Temari didn't fall asleep as fast as I would have liked," said Shikamaru. "Have you talked with Niji?" "It's been arranged," said Naruto as he crossed his arms. "Good, the whole plan demands that," said Shikamaru. "Is Choji on board?" "Yes," said Naruto. "Good," said Shikamaru. "However, I think we should bring Kiba into this plan." "Maybe," said Naruto as he looked up at the full moon high above. "I will talk to him about it." "Make sure you two are alone, we don't want word getting out or else the whole thing will be ruined," said Shikamaru. "I would worry about Temari, she always seems to figure things out," said Naruto. "Don't worry, I have a plan for that," said Shikamaru. "We should head back before we are missed." "Agreed," said Naruto as the two of them left the rooftop. "So Naruto, are you ready to die?" asked Sasuke as he and Naruto stood across from each other in the Valley of the End, just like they had done so many years ago. However, unlike last time when the sun was out and only a few clouds filled the sky, this time a mighty storm was raging. Lightning filled the sky with rage as the wind howled. "Are you?" asked Naruto as he pulled his sword, the hard rain bouncing off the demon's steel. "Well, today isn't the day I die," said Sasuke as he moved his sword up and pointed it toward Naruto. With one move the blade was struck by multiple thunderbolts, making lightning dance around it. "It's too bad this has to happen during a thunderstorm where I can call upon my nature chakra type for help. This battle will not be decided by strength alone," said Naruto as Sasuke grinned. "You are a fool, Naruto, and once I finished with you I'll kill your little vixen," said Sasuke as they both charged forward. "Naruto!" yelled Sakura's voice as she rushed toward the battle. "Sakura, get back!" ordered Naruto as suddenly an arrow tip appeared in Sakura's chest. Naruto's eyes widened in horror as Sakura fell to her knees before falling to the ground, a large arrow in her back. Standing behind her was the red-haired woman that Sasuke had appeared with, her crossbow in hand. "The pink bitch dies," laughed the woman. "Sakura!" yelled Naruto as he suddenly sat up, a cold sweat running down his body. It took him a moment to realize where he really was. He was in his bed, with Sakura sound asleep at his side. "Just a dream," said Naruto as he ran his fingers through his hair. The 18-year-old Jonin and Demon Summer looked down at his 19-year-old girlfriend still sound asleep at his side. Her bridesmaid's dress for Tenten's wedding sat waiting for her in the morning. "It was just a dream, everything is fine." Naruto didn't know why, but something caused him to get out of bed and walk out of the room. For another reason that he could really understand, he opened the door to what was supposed to be his room. He walked across the carpet before sitting down in the rocking chair. Unknown to him, he wasn't alone. Standing in the room was his mother. Thanks to her clan's ability, she could see him from beyond the grave, but he couldn't see her. "Hello, Naruto?" asked Kushina as she got more than a quick look of what her son looked like. He looked so much like Minato it was scary. The same warm blue eyes, the same wild golden blonde hair. Maybe the only real difference was he appeared to be an inch or two taller than Minato. Slowly he reached toward a small lamp table. He opened the small drawer, and he reached for the very back of the drawer. Kushina's eyes widened as she noticed what Naruto had pulled out. There in his hands was a ring box. He opened the box to show a golden ring with a large diamond in the center with 2 blue gemstones on the side. She could tell that the stones were Sakura's birthstone. The golden band had 2 silver foxes inlaid in it. Naruto took it out to look at the inscription inside. It was simple yet powerful. "Love forever." "It is finally time to ask the question," said Naruto to himself as Kushina smiled. "I hope Sakura-chan will like the ring. He talks to himself just like I do," thought Kushina as she remembered all the times Minato would look like she was insane as she talked to herself. He just never understood. It helped her clear her thoughts. She will. Naruto answered Kushina. That is when she noticed Naruto looking at a photo of her and Minato standing side by side in the training field. She remembered Jiraiya had taken the photo for them after she had learned she was with child. However, there was a next photo. Standing in the same spot in the same position was Naruto and Sakura. She could feel the love coming from those two just like she could feel the love in the photo of her and Minato. Mom, Dad, I hoped you would have liked Sakura-chan, said Naruto. I hoped I would make you proud. Naruto, of course we would like Sakura and we are so proud of you, said Kushina as she wrapped her arms around her son and placed her head on his shoulder. Hugging her son for the first time. Naruto couldn't physically feel his mother's spirit around him, but suddenly he felt more relaxed. He felt another presence in the room. He didn't know why he knew he wasn't alone, but he knew. Slowly he placed the ring away, then he just sat there searching the room with his eyes. Does he know I am here? Asked Kushina as she moved to stand in front of Naruto. It was extremely rare, but a few men in her clan did have the bloodline ability to talk to the dead, but Naruto was a Namikaze, not an Uzumaki. Naruto, can you hear me? Asked Kushina as suddenly Naruto's blue eyes flashed red before returned to their natural blue, however they were now silted. Instantly Naruto's eyes widened as his eyes locked on Kushina. He had a look of total surprise. Naruto? Can you see me? Asked Kushina as Naruto slowly nodded his head. My God, he can see me, thought Kushina. Who are you? Asked Naruto. You said you can see me? Asked Kushina. I see your chakra, not your physical form, said Naruto as he looked at the outline of strange blue chakra in front of him. He could tell it was a female, and from the outline a very beautiful woman at that. I thought I would never really talk to you, said Kushina as she extended her hand, but Naruto back away from the chakra hand. Kushina was a little hurt that her own son wouldn't want to be touched by her, but then she remembered he only saw an outline of a figure standing in his home. Naruto, maybe if you channel more chakra into her eyes you will see who I really am, said Kushina as Naruto channeled chakra into his eyes. Slowly the picture started to take form. First her cloths appeared, a light red sleeveless top with a pair of black ninja pants. She had one leaf headband on her forehead. Next her flesh came and expect around the face. Suddenly long bright red hair that reached the small of her back appeared. Next her deep blue eyes appeared, followed by her face. Naruto's eyes became like dinner plates as he recognized who she was. Mom? Asked Naruto. Yes, said Kushina with a smile. How is this possible? Asked Naruto. My clan has a bloodline limit that allows us to talk to and from the dead, said Kushina. Whenever it nears my birthday or the date of my death I can return for about an hour. I have been here for years, why haven't I seen you till now? Asked Naruto. Simply the bloodline just only works for females, that is why you couldn't see me, explained Kushina. I am just so happy that I can talk to you. How have you been doing, Naruto? I don't know where to begin. Well, I am seeing someone. Started Naruto. Sakura Haruno. I know, I ran into her and we talked, said Kushina. Sakura-chan knew you were here? Asked Naruto. I asked her not to tell you, said Kushina. I didn't want you to think she was crazy. I wish she had told me, said Naruto. Don't worry about that, son, said Kushina as Naruto looked up. He always liked it when someone called him son. Besides, soon she will Sakura Namikaze. Yeah, said Naruto as he smiled, just saying Mrs. Sakura Namikaze in his head. As for your question, your father and I would love for Sakura to join the family and we are always proud of you, said Kushina. Mom, I have to ask, I met Dad once but it wasn't for long. Half the time I spent trying to kill him, so what was he like? Asked Naruto as Kushina sat down across from her son and smiled. First, knowing your father, he would love that little fight you did, said Kushina. Naruto, your father was the most kind, heartfelt, caring man I ever known. He was the best of ninjas, but unlike most ninjas he never lost that playful spirit. True, on the battlefield it was hard to find, but off it he would laugh and act stupidly. If he had any faults it was he couldn't cook a decent meal to save his life. He almost burned the house down on 4 occasions. Sounds like a great man, said Naruto. He was, and so are you, said Kushina as she placed her hand on Naruto's cheek. Naruto, I see so much of your father in you, and just from looks. You have that same love of other people and the need to protect your friends and loved ones. The same kindness and playfulness. You have some hints of me in there, but Naruto, you are your father's son. Naruto looked at the ground with tears in his eyes. It's just sometimes I worry that I wouldn't live up to you too, said Naruto as Kushina shook her head. Naruto, you have nothing to prove to us, said Kushina as she felt her chakra weakling. I wish from the bottom of my heart that your father and I could have been there while you were growing up. To hold you all those times you cried and have given you all the love we have in our hearts. To be the parents we should have been. Naruto didn't know what to say. Naruto, I don't have much time before I'll disappear, said Kushina. When you will be back? Asked Naruto. I don't really know, my chakra is giving out a lot faster than normal, which means I have very little time with period, said Kushina. This isn't right. I finally get to talk to you and there isn't time, said Naruto. You know life isn't fair, said Kushina as she started to fade away. Slowly she stood on her tippy toes and kissed her son's forehead. I love you, Naruto, now go make Sakura the happiest woman in the world. I love you, Mom, said Naruto as Kushina faded away totally. Almost 16 hours later, Lady Tsunade sat at a table in a large hall with Jiraiya at her side. Out on the dance floor, the younger generation danced in celebration of Tenten becoming Mrs. Hyuga. Weddings are always the most fun, said Jiraiya as he lifted a glass of wine, they always have the best shake and wine. Why did I ask you to be my escort? Asked Tsunade. Because I am one of the few drinking buddies that you don't owe money to, said Jiraiya. I guess you're right, said Tsunade as she looked around the room. Tenten's parents sat with Niji's mom watching their kids dance the night away. It was a small gathering of friends and family. Haishir himself or anyone from the main Hyuga clan house had bothered to show. In a way it was a good thing, it made it more fun. However, the lower Hyuga house had appeared in mass along with Tenten's family. However, something was off. In the back corner of the room stood a pink-haired woman, who wasn't Sakura. It was her mother Rin. Slowly Tsunade walked over to the woman. Rin, what are you doing here? Asked Tsunade, knowing full well that while Rin's company did supply the candles she wasn't invited. I came to watch, said Rin with a smile as she looked toward her daughter in a long red dress dance with Naruto. Watch what? Asked Tsunade. Just watch, said Rin. Meanwhile, on the dance floor, Naruto and Sakura, like the other couples, danced. Sakura had placed her head on Naruto's chest. Sakura loved moments like these. She could hear Naruto's heart beat as they swung around the dance floor. However, something was off. The medical mind in her knew that Naruto's heart rate was too high. The music came to a stop, and as the live band prepared to start up again, Sakura decided to address the issue. Naruto-kun, is something wrong? Asked Sakura as she looked up into Naruto's eyes. No, said Naruto, just nerves. Naruto-kun, I thought I told you earlier you are a great dancer, said Sakura with a slight laugh. It isn't that, Sakura-chan, said Naruto as one of his hands left her hip and entered his pocket. For a moment Sakura was confused at what was happening, then suddenly it became clear as Naruto slowly got down on a single knee with a ring box he had pulled out in hand. He slowly opened the box to show a beautiful ring. Sakura's eyes started to fill up with tears, knowing a moment she had dreamed about had finally arrived. Sakura, will you marry me? Asked Naruto. Yes, cried Sakura instantly as she threw herself at Naruto. She hugged him and kissed him as he stood back up. This is yours now, Sakura-chan, said Naruto as he placed the ring on Sakura's finger. Instantly people started clapping, but Sakura didn't care about them at the moment. She was too busy hugging Naruto and crying tears of joy into his shoulders. I love you, Naruto-kun, stated Sakura as she hugged him. Congratulations to all three new couples, yelled Jiraiya in his booming voice as Sakura finally looked around the room. That is when she noticed Naruto and her weren't alone. to her right Ino was kissing Choji like a mad woman. A brand new gold ring was on her finger as well. A few feet beyond that, Temari, who she had hardly ever seen in tears, was in tears as kept nodding her head as Shikamaru placed a silver ring on her finger. Instantly she looked back at Naruto and smiled. "You guys planned this out, didn't you?" asked Sakura. "Yeah, we did," admitted Naruto. "You sly fox," said Sakura as she kissed her fiancé. Across the hall, Rin smiled as she watched her daughter kiss her future husband. They looked perfect together. "I see what you mean," said Tsunade with a smile on her face as well. "I didn't want to miss this," said Rin as the crowd still kept clapping. Ino, Temari, and Sakura had hugged each other, congratulating each other as the men simply shook hands, probably congratulating themselves on pull it off. "How did you know?" asked Tsunade. Flashback. Rin Haruno was sat in her back office of her business going over some paperwork, when a knock came from the front door. "We are closed," said Rin until she heard the knock come again. "I said we are closed," snapped Rin as she showed the same fire that her daughter had. She stormed out of her office and into the main showroom only to see Naruto standing outside the door. She rushed toward the door and threw it out. "Naruto, is something wrong? Did something happen to Sakura?" asked Rin. "No, she is fine," answered Naruto. "I came to ask you a question." "What?" asked Rin. "Well, I know it is tradition for to ask Sakura's dad this, but since he is dead I wanted," said Naruto as he stopped and tried to find the words. "You want to ask Sakura to marry you, don't you?" asked Rin with a smile. "Yes," said Naruto, "I want to know if that is okay with you." Rin simply smiled. "Of course. It is something your mother and I always talked about when I was carrying Sakura and she was carrying you," said Rin. "Tell me how you are planning to do it." End flashback. Sakura was smiling ear to ear as she danced in Naruto's arm. She would never forget this night. "I love you, Naruto," said Sakura as they kissed again. Sakura couldn't help but smile as woke up the morning after Niji's and Tenten's wedding. She woke up and stretched her arms. After stretching, she looked at her new ring. She smiled as she rubbed the still sleeping Naruto's cheek, her future husband. "Mrs. Sakura Namikaze," thought Sakura, "I will spend the rest of my life with Naruto-kun." "Yes, we are," said inner Sakura, "just imagine what our future will be like." Sakura smiled as she dreamed up a future in her mind. True, she knew they would have their ups and downs as a married couple, just like everyone else. However, the important thing was that she loved him no matter what, and together they would build their future together. But those downs would never equal the highs, as she dreamed of a house full of laughter and love, where children could be born and raised. "Naruto will make a great father when the time comes," thought Sakura. "And you will make a great mother when the times comes," Sakura-chan added, a voice in her head that she knew had to be Naruto. While not good with the physic link between them, he was getting better. She looked down at Naruto before slapping his shoulder. "What was that for?" asked Naruto as he rubbed his shoulder. "For pretending to be asleep," said Sakura as she picked up her pillow and hit Naruto again. "Ah, so that is how it is going to be," said Naruto as he grabbed his own pillow and started fighting back. However, their pillow fight only lasted a little bit until both of them fell to the floor on top of each other laughing. They stopped laughing as their lips locked in a passionate kiss. Across town, Temari was having an early morning cup of tea with her future mother-in-law, Yoshino Nara. "So my son asked you to marry you at the same time as Naruto and Choji asked their girlfriends?" asked Yoshino as she drank some tea. "Yeah, while it wasn't the romantic dinner I dreamed about as a kid," said Temari before she smiled as she looked at her silver band. Unlike Sakura's or Ino's rings, which was gold, hers was silver. She was never really a big fan of gold, and Shikamaru knew that. The ring had a pattern of two wolves, one representing each of them. It also had the Nara clan symbol and the Sand Village symbol on either side of a diamond ring. "Still, I will never forget it." You remember those things for your whole life. Events like that, plus your wedding/honeymoon and when your kids are born, is something you don't forget. I remember to this day how my husband asked me, said Yoshino. We were in the middle of a training session and then right when our kunai crossed he asked me. He was too lazy to even go down on one knee. That is probably something like what Shikamaru would have done, but Naruto and Choji decided to ask Sakura and Ino together and he joined in, said Temari. I am just wondering how he got that past you. You should have figured that out, said Yoshino. In a way I did, said Temari. I knew that Choji and Naruto were going to ask. Shikamaru told me that. A distraction, said Yoshino. Yeah, that way it didn't stand out when he went to help Choji pick out a ring for Ino when in fact he was studying the ring style for mine, said Temari. However, this ring is made in the demon world. I can tell. Don't worry about not figuring it out, sometimes things get by you, said Yoshino. On some levels I am glad I didn't know, said Temari. So have you decided on a wedding date? I was asked yesterday night, said Temari to her future mother-in-law. Still, it is never too early to plan, said Yoshino. I was thinking. Wait, are you going to be those kind of mothers who try to take over a wedding and make it their own? Because if so you will have a hell of fight on your hand, said Temari. If you let me push you around then you wouldn't have fit as well into this family as you have, said Yoshino with a smile. However, I wouldn't be a good future mother-in-law if I didn't voice my position very strongly. Alright, I'll give you that, said Temari. However, there is one thing I will not give ground on. What are those? Asked Yoshino. The desert chicory, said Temari as Yoshino had to think about what Temari was talking about. Are those the white floors you grow in the backyard? Asked Yoshino. Yes. They grow in the sand and were my mother's favorite flower and they are mine too, said Temari. Flashback. Mommy, what sort of flowers are these? Asked the 3-year-old Temari. She was extremely advanced for her age and liked asking a lot of questions. Her 2-year-old brother Kankuro was taking a nap that gave mother and daughter some alone time in the small greenhouse that Karura had on the roof. They are desert chicory, said Karura. They are so beautiful, said Temari. Yeah, they are my favorite flowers, said Karura as she pulled one of them and placed it in her daughter's hair. The white flower rested ever so gently on her ear. Do I look good, Mom? Asked Temari. You look even more beautiful, Temari, said Karunra as she suddenly touched her bulging stomach. Temari, give me your hand. Temari gave her mother her hand only to have it placed on her mother's belly. Suddenly she felt something hit her from within. Is that my new sister? Asked Temari. Or new brother, said Karunra. End flashback. It's the only real thing I remember about my mom, added Temari as Yoshino smiled before looking at her small garden full of tiger lily flowers. What? The flowers? When I was little my mother grew those flowers, they were her favorite and they became mine, said Yoshino with a smile. Seems that you and I have more things in common than even I first thought. You are going to be a fun daughter-in-law. Hours later, Hinata walked through the main gate of the Demon Lion City. However, she wasn't alone. At her side for the first time were Kiba and Akamaru. Kiba's eyes were wide as he looked at the massive city. It was 3 or 4 times the size of the leaf. A few of the lions turned and looked at Kiba and Akamaru. They had gotten used to seeing Hinata, but Kiba and a dog was something new. This city is huge, said Kiba as they walked through the streets. Yeah, unlike the wolves or the foxes who have a dozen cities most the size of the leaf, we have only one large city, said Hinata as they entered a market. To his surprise, Hinata stopped at a fruit stand. As Hinata looked at different fruit, another lion walked up. Hinata looked toward the lion and smiled. How are you doing today, Lavi? Kiba watched as a large male lion with thick brown hair and a large black mane. I thought you were not going to be back until tomorrow, Hinata, asked Lavi. I decided it would be a good idea to show Kiba around, said Hinata as Lavi looked at Kiba. I see, said Lavi, so this is your mate? Kiba, this is Lavi, a top general in the lion army and the head of the palace guard, said Hinata. Hello, said Kiba. I can see some promise in you, said Lavi as he walked around Kiba. Yes, we can make a soldier out of you. I am a ninja of the leaf, said Kiba. I am a soldier. You still think as a human soldier, and in this coming war thinking like a human ninja will get you killed, said Lavi. Are you still upset that I choose to go with Ivor Squad? Asked Hinata as she paid for some fruit. The Ivor Squad? Asked Kiba. Basically it is the top archer corps of the Lion Army, said Hinata, and Lavi is the leader of the top close combat corps, the Brander. The two corps have a rivalry going on, and as of the first Lion Demon Summoner they both wanted me to join their team. You would have been great in the Brander corps, said Lavi. With my Byakugan it is a perfect match for me and the Ivor corps, said Hinata, but tell you want, if Satilia allows it and Kibakuin wants to, you can teach him a few things about how lions wage war. I am not sure if that will be allowed, said Lavi. He isn't a demon summoner, he may have some of our chakra in him now, but he doesn't have enough to do much of anything. Doesn't matter. Beside Tala is training Temari, Shikamaru's mate in modified demon justice, said Hinata as Lavi grinned. Ah, this is going to be fun, said Lavi as Kiba wondered what sort of pain was ahead for him. Back in the Leaf, Ino and Choji walked onto the Akimichi clan main house. Almost instantly Choji's mom ran up and hugged her son. Choji, you look so skinny, said Choji's mother. Mom, I weight the same as I did last time, I am only taller, said Choji. It was true, he had grown taller, but the real change was that he was more muscle than he was before. We need to add some weight to your bones, said his mother. Mom, where is Dad? Asked Choji. There is something we need to talk about. Right here, son, said Choza as he walked down the staircase. Now what do you have to say? Well, said Choji as he tried to find the words. Choji asked me to marry him last night, said Ino as she held up her hand to show her new ring. Instantly she found herself in a bear hug from Choji's mother as his father shook Choji's hand. Congratulations, said Choza. Ah, Mrs. Akimichi, can you let me go? I can't breathe, said Ino. Sorry. It's just I am so happy, said Mrs. Akimichi, I have to tell everyone about this great news. If you wait, Ino will do that for you, said Choza with a small laugh as Ino rolled her eyes at him. Have you thought about what you want for the wedding or anything? Asked Mrs. Akimichi. I was going to sit down tomorrow for lunch with my mom tomorrow to start making plans, said Ino. You are welcome to come, however I have made some plans already, like having Sakura be the maid of honor. Sakura, why would you want a demon there? Asked Choza. With all due respect, Mr. Akimichi, Choji, Sakura has been my best friend for years and I asked her right away to be my maid of honor, just like I am hers for hers and Naruto's wedding. Stated Ino. Dad, I already asked Shikamaru to be my best man and he asked me to be his. Said Choji. Shikamaru is getting married? Asked Choji's mother. Yeah, Shikamaru, Naruto, and I asked the girls at the same time during Niji's and Tenten's wedding, said Choji. Why did you do that? Asked Choza. Well, we didn't want Ino and Sakura to have an argument about who got asked first and Shikamaru decided to join in, said Choji. We even asked Kiba to join us, but they hadn't been dating as long as us and he wanted to do something different. I don't like the idea of having demons in the wedding, said Choza. You can deal with it, dear, just it's their wedding not ours, said Mrs. Akimichi. Your parents didn't like Inoichi or Shikaku and they were there for our wedding. Fine, said Choza as he crossed his arms. Across town at the Namikaze compound, Sakura and Naruto were sitting down to an early supper. Sakura, I have something to tell you, said Naruto in a tone she wasn't used to in the house. It was his training voice, his more serious voice. What is it? Asked Sakura. Well, your training here has pretty much reached its limit here, said Naruto. What? Asked Sakura. I am nowhere near ready for this war. I still haven't mastered all the water justus or have even tried using justice in sage mode. I know. I am not saying your training is done, said Naruto, just in order to go to the next step we need more room, in case a Justa loses control. We don't want to destroy the village while we are training. One move with a sage level water Justu and half the village is flooded, or if I mess up with some of my Justa the village becomes a giant hole in the ground. So where do we go? Asked Sakura. Well, I did some looking up in the records and it seems that the Namikaze clan has a summer home on a private island off the coast of Fire County, said Naruto. So do you want to go on a training vacation? How long? Because I have a feeling Ino will want to start shopping for wedding stuff very soon, said Sakura. A good week or two should help a lot, said Naruto. A week alone on a private island in a tropical climate with the man we love. Imagine all the things we can do apart from training, said inner Sakura. We could try some of those crazy ideas I have been dreaming up. When do you want to leave? Asked Sakura. Whenever you want to, it will only take a few hours of running to reach it, said Naruto. Later that night in the Hidden Rain village the remaining members of the Akatsuki gathered. Our numbers are too low, said Madara as he looked at Pain, Konan and Zetsu. Zetsu, have you found any new members? I have found 2, one male one female that shows great promise and one has a score to settle, said Zetsu. Only 2? Asked Konan. Add that to our newest member makes 7, said Madara, my favorite number. What new member? Asked Konan as before she noticed Pain was looking toward the corner of the darkened room. Slowly a figure appeared out of the corner. Light glimmered off a pair of glasses as he pushed up his glasses. Kabuto Yakushi, said Pain. 2 days after informing the Hokage and their friends and family about their planned trip to the Namikaze summer home, Sakura and Naruto reached the coast of Fire Country. So Naruto, do you know where we are going? Asked Sakura. Yeah, said Naruto as they entered a small town. I had Ira go check it out and he says everything is fine. The small town seemed picture perfect. A single small road with shops on either side of the street. A lighthouse in the distance was on a small island just inside the harbor. Fishing boats along with small pleasure boats filled the water on a warm spring day. This town is beautiful, said Sakura. Yeah, it is, said Naruto as he noticed a small food stand. Sakura, I am kind of thirsty, do you want anything? Lemonade sounds good, said Sakura as Naruto left to get the drinks. As she waited on the sidewalk a town cop walked up. Sakura was a little taken aback by the cop. He looked like he should have retired 20 years ago. Hello young lady, can I help you with something? Asked the cop in a grandfather-like voice. No thank you. My fiancé is getting some drinks, said Sakura. Congratulations on your engagement, said the cop. Is there any way I can help you find something? Yeah, we are looking for Anemone Island, said Sakura. I am sorry but that is a private island owned by the Namikaze family of the Leaf Village and not open to visitors, said the cop. What about members of the Namikaze family, said Sakura. There is only one member left and unless he gives promotion for people to visit the island or use his home, said the cop. Sakura-chan, I got your lemonade, said Naruto as he walked up. Instantly the man's eyes widened as he looked at Naruto. Minato? Asked the cop. No, I am his son Naruto, said Naruto. Naruto Namikaze? Asked the man. Yeah, we wanted to spend a week or 2 at my family's summer home, said Naruto. You look so much like your dad, said the man. You knew my dad? Asked Naruto. Yes, now where are my manners? I am Aulus, the oldest elder of the town, said Aulus. I even knew your grandfather Altair and your great-grandfather Hadad. Really? Said Naruto. Yes, and it an honor to have the Namikaze clan back in the town, said Hadad. Let me show you the island. No, we don't want to bother you, said Naruto. Please, I insist, said Hadad. Alright, lead the way, said Naruto. Sakura didn't know where to begin, after a boat ride across a reef full of fish to a dock on a sandy beach. Up a road leading to a large wooden house, with 3 levels each with a deck with a view of the ocean. At the moment she was looking out the top deck, it turned out the entire top floor was a large master bedroom with a skylight and a deck with clear view of the crystal blue water. It just seemed almost too perfect. Sakura-chan, I wish we could spend all day just taking in the scenery, but there is work we need to do, said Naruto. I know, said Sakura as she left the balcony and walked back into the bedroom. Where do we begin? Simple sage mode, said Naruto. We need to stay in it longer. We need to be able to do justice in that form, and that means being in sage form has to become second nature. I see. Also it takes a lot of mental control and chakra to stay in sage form. Said Sakura, I don't know about you, but whenever I am exit sage mode I get extremely weak and can barely walk. Also it still feels weird being a human fox. Yeah, it does feel like you are in someone else's body, and if either one of us leaves sage form on the battlefield that could cost both of us our lives, said Naruto. Sage mode needs to become so natural to us, that we don't even notice we are in sage mode. So how do you think we should do that? Asked Sakura, because sage mode takes a lot of chakra and we can't really go into repeatedly after a training session, we would run out of chakra. The simplest way I know is to go into sage mode and just stay in it, said Naruto. Basically we spend the day relaxing and doing what we normally do on a day off, only we are in sage form. So we relax all day but in sage form? Asked Sakura as she raised her eyebrow. It will let us get used to sage form, said Naruto. Sure, why not, said Sakura as they headed downstairs and toward a large garden. Alright, it is just after 10, so let's transform and try to stay in the form until we sunset, said Naruto. Works for me, said Sakura as she noticed Naruto taking off his cloths. He doesn't want his cloths to be destroyed when he turns. Thought Sakura as Naruto took off everything but a tight pair of boxers. They had learned that tight cloths disappeared during the turn only to reappear after, while loose cloths were destroyed. They didn't know where they went and they didn't care. Alright, here we go, said Naruto as Sakura noticed demon chakra on Naruto's arms and legs. Sakura watched as her fiancé's figure and toenails turned into 5-inch long claws as black fur appeared on his lower arm and legs. It worked its way up as he grew from 6 feet 3 inches to around 6 feet 9 inches. Light blonde fur covered his body apart from the white fur that ran from the base of the neck to his cafe muscle. A long foxtail shot out of the base of his spine. His body became to add muscle as his weight shot up from around 230 pounds to 285 all muscles. For a moment Naruto had a human face with a human fox body, however that wasn't going to last as his face pushed out into a muzzle as new teeth formed. His ears moved to the top of his head as fur covered his face. He closed his eyes for a moment and when they opened again them were silted but remained their natural blue. That still feels weird, said Naruto in a slightly deeper voice. I guess it is my turn, said Sakura as she sat down and started undressing. Naruto couldn't help himself from watching. He had seen her naked hundreds of times but it always turned him on. Looks like Naruto is enjoying watching us, said inner Sakura as she noticed Naruto's member harden. I wonder what sex would be like in this form. This isn't the time for that, thought Sakura as she stood up in her sports bra and bottom. Sakura didn't have as much control over the transformation as Naruto. Almost instantly she felt light pink fur appear on her breast and white fur on around her womanhood. A tail formed quickly as it moved as if on its own. Sakura pushed herself to transform as fast as Naruto, however her body wasn't used to it as she fell onto her hands and knees. She could feel her body growing as she went 5 feet 5 inches 115 pounds to 6 feet 2 inches 195 pounds. She could feel muscles growing bigger as new muscles appeared. She had noticed that first time she had transformed that her breasts stayed up like they normally did with a bra. She guessed a new muscle grew to keep them stable so that when she ran they didn't bounce as much. Black fur appeared on her lower arms and legs as pink fur covered the rest of her body minus white fur from her neck to her cafe muscles. Suddenly she felt a hand on her back. Don't worry Sakura-chan, you are doing great, said Naruto as he rubbed her back. Pink fur started covering her face as her nose pushed out into the muzzle, new sharp teeth formed. Her ears moved to the top of her head. Lastly her claws formed. There, said Sakura as she panted a bit as she sat back. She looked up to see Naruto standing there with his hand out. She took it as he pulled her to her feet and into his arms. How are you doing, my vixen? Asked Naruto. This still makes me feel like a monster, said Sakura as she looked at herself. You are not a monster, said Naruto as he kissed her. At first it felt weird kissing him, but that warmth and jolt of electricity she felt every time she kissed Naruto. Soon she was kissing back. They pulled apart for a bit as Sakura decided to let her inner self idea out. You know Naruto-kun, on our days off we spend a lot of time making love and we have never done it in sage mode before, said Sakura with a perverted grin. I don't really want fox baby Sakura-chan, said Naruto, worrying what they kids would be like if she conceived if they did what she was thinking. Naruto, I did some test, we are both still human and beside birth control justice, said Sakura. When did you do tests? Asked Naruto. When I first learned how to go into sage mode, I was wondering if I was a fox or a human, and DNA-wise we are still human, said Sakura. Still, maybe a little later, but first let's get used to being like this, said Naruto as Sakura pouted a bit as her ears went back. Sometimes you are no fun, Naruto-kun, said Sakura with a laugh as she turned and started walking away. She could tell Naruto's eyes were on her ass as she walked away. He is so checking us out, said inner Sakura as she appeared in front of Sakura in a fox form. It seemed that inner Sakura took whatever form Sakura was in. I wonder if fox sex is that different than human sex, asked inner Sakura. Maybe we will find out, thought Sakura. So we are going to spend the whole day relaxing in sage mode. Why couldn't we do this at home? Asked Sakura, already knowing the answer, but Naruto was too transfixed on her body. If we walked around the village like this, it would cause a lot of problems with the villagers, said Naruto. Yeah, we kind of do look like demons, said Sakura as she looked at her arm and the razor-sharp claws that could remove flesh from bone in under a second. I don't want the few villagers who seem to finally coming around to our side decide that we are really demons, said Naruto. I know, said Sakura as she turned around to face Naruto. Then why did you ask? Asked Naruto. Because it was the only way to stop you from thinking about mating, said Sakura as she looked down at Naruto's privates. You can't really hide what's on your mind, Naruto-kun. I guess I can't, said Naruto with a grin. Meanwhile, in the demon world, Kiba was thrown against a stone wall. Stand up, dog boy, ordered Lavi as he stood in the center of the room. The strange thing was that he had what looked like a metal breastplate over the upper part of his body. Akamaru wasn't allowed to take part in the training session and was flanked by two other lions in a corner. I am not a boy, said Kiba as he whipped some blood from his mouth. So far you are fighting like a boy, not a man, said Lasix as suddenly Kiba disappeared in a puff of smoke. Lasix didn't even look around as suddenly Kiba appeared from below, ready to punch Lasix from below, in an attack that would have surprised all but the best Jonins. However, Lasix simply sidestepped Kiba's attack like it was coming from a genin. Crap, said Kiba as he saw he was wide open for Lav as he grabbed Kiba's foot with his front paw. However, to Kiba's amazement, Lavi's paw didn't look like a paw anymore, it looked like a fur-covered hand. Yes, you need to pay more attention, said Lavi as suddenly Kiba found himself hanging upside down. Kiba looked up to see Lavi had changed. He looked more like the sage mode that he had seen Shikamaru and Sakura become. He stood maybe 7.5 feet tall, over 300 pound, arm muscles as big as Kiba's legs and legs as thick as Kiba's waist. A wild black mane surrounded his lion-like face. If you don't pay attention you will end up dead, said Lavi as he dropped Kiba. That is when he got his fist clear look at him. His armor covered everything from his waist up to his neck. A lion tail moved across the ground behind him. You can do sage mode? Asked Kiba. Yes, all demons can take 3 different forms, said Lavi. The one we normally do is the animal form like I was in earlier. In that form we feel and we can use most of our justice, however we can't really use some weapons in that form. Like swords and hand-held weapons? Asked Kiba as Lavi walked over to a weapon rack and pulled a huge sword. Correct, said Lavi, you can't wield a sword without having any hands. What is the third form? Asked Kiba. Simple, said Lavi as he changed again, however this time he shrunk down to maybe 6 feet 2 inches. He lost his tail as his fur disappeared. Short black hair covered his head as a brown bread appeared. Finally it ended and there standing before him was a man maybe as old as their sensei. Human form. You can turn human? Asked Kiba. Yes, but it is a waste of time, said Lavi as he turned back into sage form. Humans are weaker in strength and in speed. The only benefit is that we can blend into the human population. So all demons can do this, even our enemies? Asked Kiba. Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if there are demon spies inside your villages, said Lavi as he suddenly kicked Kiba in the face. However, that isn't important right now, you need to get stronger. You son of a bitch, said Kiba as he held his now broken nose. Blood flowed like water down his face. You are the son of a bitch, you are the son of a dog, said Lavi. Lavi, what the hell are you doing? Yelled a new voice as Kiba looked toward the door to see a new lion appear, or rather a lioness. She was maybe 7 foot tall, maybe 250 pounds, with dark blue fur covering her body including her H-cup breast. Something about her seemed so familiar, it was strange he was attracted to her. She walked up and knelt beside him. Hold still, I may not as good as Sakura or Ino, but I know some medical justu. Said the lioness as her hand was covered in chakra. Kiba looked into her white eyes, and is when Kiba realized that this lioness was really Hinata in her sage form. Thanks Hinata, said Kiba as Hinata smiled, showing her cat fangs. Slowly she transformed back into human, her long dark blue hair returned to its normal length as her same color fur disappeared, her body shrank from 6.5 feet to 5.5 feet, from 250 pounds to 106 pounds. Hinata, you can't interfere with my training session, said Lavi. And if your mate was being bleeding like this you would interfere, said Hinata as Lavi growled a bit, knowing she was right. Fine, maybe I will start at a lower level of training, said Lavi. Why not a weapon? You like training with weapons, said Hinata. All right Kiba, pick a weapon and I will train you, said Lavi as Kiba looked toward the weapon rack. Apart from a kunai, I am not really a weapon guy, I like to get in close and punch my enemies or beat them with fang over fang, thought Kiba. It is either that or have Lavi keep punching you into the ground, said a female voice in his mind. Hinata had told him of the link they now shared, but it was still strange hearing someone else's voice in his head. Besides, you never know when a weapon will help you out. Pick your weapon Kiba, ordered Lavi. Alright, said Kiba as he walked toward a long rack full of weapons. Most of which he had never even seen. Finally he picked up a weapon that he had never seen before. However, he stopped dead in his tracks when he saw the weapon. He grabbed the pair of them. These tomahawks are good at short range and can be thrown, asked Lavi, but why those? Most would pick a sword or another larger weapon. I remember my dad carrying a pair of these until my mom scared him off when I was 7, said Kiba as he held the 2 tomahawks. And somehow it just feels right. Attachment to a weapon is key to mastering it, said Lavi as he picked up a sword. Alright, let's begin. A few hours later Naruto and Sakura lied under a large tree in their sage mode. They had spent the whole day in sage mode. Sakura was using Naruto's chest as a pillow as they watched the sun go down. We made the day, Naruto, said Sakura as the sun disappeared below the horizon. As the sound of the night came alive, the crickets and fireflies came out. Yeah, we did, said Naruto as suddenly he found Sakura on top of him. Before he could say anything he found himself lip-locked with Sakura. Naruto's rational mind went to the wind. All he knew was his future wife, the woman he loved above everything else. His mate wanted him and wanted him now. Who was he to deny her? She pulled away, letting Naruto see her eyes. Even though her eyes were silted like a fox, but they still had that warmth and love for him. However, there was that wild streak in her that now burned the brightest. So Naruto, you ready to get wild? Asked Sakura in a voice that caused a shriller to go down his spine. Let's get wild, my vixen, said Naruto as he kissed her as they begun the weirdest sex they had ever done. However, unknown to them, a pair of eyes were watching them. Those demons, growled the voice. Normally Naruto and Sakura would have heard the voice, but they were too busy with each other to hear it. Back in the leaf, Haishir Hyuga sat behind his personal desk in his office. He was looking over paperwork of his clan's business. Suddenly a knock came from the door. Enter, said Haishir as a Hyuga branch house ninja appeared. Sir, I have a message for you, said the ninja as he handed Haishir a letter. Thanks, now leave us, ordered Haishir as the ninja left. The moment he left, Haishir opened the letter and smiled as he read the message. Perfect, Inoki has accepted my offer to go to their village, now to arrange it. I can't let anyone apart from the highest member of my clan know. The next morning found Naruto waking up before Sakura in their bed. For a while he just sat there looking at her as she slept. When he was a kid he always dreamed of moments like the one he was going through now, but his dreams never lived up to what was happening. There Sakura peacefully slept, from the shoulder down was covered with a thin blanket, only her hand which was by her face was uncovered. Her engagement ring shined in the early morning sunlight that came through the window. I love you, Sakura-chan, said Naruto as he leaned forward and kissed her forehead, and I will protect you from anything. After looking at her for a few moments, Naruto got out of bed and started preparing for the day. While he was in the bathroom getting ready to jump into the shower when a ray of sunlight hit Sakura's face, causing her to wake up. How did we end up back at the house? Asked Sakura as she looked around the room. I am surprised you don't remember, said inner Sakura. Flashback. Naruto and Sakura lied side by side in the woods as they started to come down from the high they were just on. As they came down from the high they slowly turned back into their normal human form. That was amazing, said Sakura as she returned to being totally human. I have to admit that was a first, said Naruto as he noticed Sakura nuzzling up to him as she prepared to fall asleep. Let's go back home, Sakura-chan, we can see in a bed. Beds are overrated, all I need is you, yawned Sakura as she closed her eyes. She must have drifted off to sleep because the next thing she remembered was being held bridal style in the bedroom by Naruto. It's alright, Sakura-chan, go back to sleep, said Naruto in a tender voice that caused her to close her eyes and fall back asleep. End flashback. So Naruto-kun carried me from the woods to our bedroom? Asked Sakura as she heard the shower turn on. Yeah, said inner Sakura, and something like that deserve her something in return. And I know what, said Sakura as she quickly but quietly moved toward the bathroom door. She was lucky that Naruto hadn't locked the door. She slowly opened the door and snuck toward the shower current. She could tell from the shadow that Naruto's back was to her. Perfect, thought Sakura as she quickly moved behind Naruto and covered his eyes with her hands. Guess who? Whispered Sakura into his ear. Sakura-chan, answered Naruto. Correct, said Sakura as she spun him around and kissed him as the hot water ran down both their bodies. Naruto was a little bit taken aback by the fieriness of Sakura. Normally after a night of externally wild sex like they had the night before, she liked to spend the morning cuddling with him. However, this was more in line with Sakura when she was in heat, but that wasn't for at least a month. Slowly Sakura started to kiss down his cheek and his neck before moving down his chest. All the while she was using some sort of massage justu on his muscles. Why is Sakura-chan doing this? I didn't do anything to deserve this, thought Naruto as he moaned as Sakura used the massage justu on his manhood. My way of saying thank you for carrying me all the back to the house last night, said Sakura's voice inside Naruto's mind as she got down on her knees as she kissed Naruto's lower chest en route to his privates. Now just enjoy this. I better not tell her I used my father's flying thunder god justu to teleport us back to the house. Thought Naruto as he felt Sakura kissed his manhood. He knew he was going to enjoy this gift from Sakura. Across the world, Ino and her mother Liz sat at a local restaurant waiting. Suddenly Choji's mother appeared. Sorry I am late, said Choji's mother as she walked into the restaurant. No problem, I had to cancel the first time we were supposed to meet, said Ino. When the Hokage calls you go, said Liz. Liz Yamanaka looked like an older version of Ino. It was scary how much they looked alike. The only real difference was her mother had dirty blonde hair instead of the golden blonde hair like her husband and daughter. It is okay, you are the Hokage's student and third in charge of the hospital under the Hokage and Shizune, said Choji's mother. I should be fourth. Sakura is way better than me, thought Ino. She has done some amazing things at that free medical clinic in the 9th district. Known only to Tsunade, Shizune, and the other top doctors and nurses at the Leaf who trusted Sakura and hated that the villagers had pretty much forced her out of the hospital took shifts running the clinic. Ino had forgotten that it was her turn to run the clinic when she arranged lunch with her mother and future mother-in-law. So Tsunade faked a medical emergency call, so Ino could change the meeting times. "So where is Sakura? Though the maid of honor is supposed to be here?" asked Choji's mother. "Even if she was allowed to come in here, she is away on a training mission," said Ino. "What do you mean not allowed? Everyone is welcomed at our clan's restaurants," said Choji's mother. "You don't know about your clan banning Naruto, Sakura and Hinata from your restaurants because they are demon summoners," said Liz as Choji's mother's eyes widened. "The only reason why Shikamaru wasn't banned was because of your husband's friendship with his father." "I had no idea. I don't like to deal with the business end of the clan restaurants. I spend my time working on new dishes that can be severed," said Choji's mother. "Let's focus on the something else," said Ino. "Yes, now what kind of flowers do you want?" asked Liz. "Red roses, they are my favorite flower," said Ino. "Any date idea?" asked Choji's mother. "Name the date and we will have our top restaurant closed for the day for your wedding reception." "I am thinking late May or early June," said Ino. "How about 25th? It is a Saturday," said Choji's mother. "Works," said Liz. "Alright, let's put that as the date," said Ino as she wrote it down in a notebook she had brought with her. "Our top restaurant with the ballroom attachment can hold 200 people, said Choji's mother. "Both our clans are big, and with this being the wedding between the children of the two heads of the clan means a lot of them will want to come," said Liz. "I will have my friends and our sensei," said Ino. "The Hokage will likely be there because you are here, student," said Choji mother. "Why don't you two each make a list of 50 or so clan member and I will make a list of my own," said Ino. "What about Choji?" asked Liz. "He told me he doesn't really care that much about planning a wedding," said Ino. "Sounds like your average guy," said Liz as Choji's mother nodded her head in agreement. Now the real question, the dress. A few hours after Ino finished her first planning season for her dream wedding, Naruto and Sakura were training on the back side of the island as the sun was setting. "Just a few move times," said Naruto as Sakura nodded her head. They had decided to work on different higher level Jutsu. Jutsu's too powerful to use in the Leaf with any real measure of safety. "Alright," said Sakura as sweat ran down her body, soaking her shirt as she stood on the beach. She ran those hand signs once again. "Demon water Jutsu, rip current Jutsu." Sakura's chakra started to form a giant whirlpool in the water. The whirlpool got bigger and bigger, destroying some large rocks that made up the coastline. "My turn," said Naruto as he ran those hand signs. "Demon wind Jutsu, tornado Jutsu." With that, a giant tornado appeared out of the sky, hitting the center of the Sakura's Jutsu. The moment the two Jutsu hit, they combined into a giant Jutsu, with hurricane-forced wind that could cut through flesh and water that could break bones as easy as it could break stones. The Jutsu lasted for a while until Naruto decided to call it quits. Once he stopped pumping chakra into the Jutsu, the hurricane broke down. "Naruto, is something wrong? Normally I am the one who stops," asked Sakura. "No, nothing is wrong, it is just supper time," said Naruto as Sakura rolled her eyes. "Sometimes I think you act just like a kid, Naruto-kun," said Sakura. Later that night, Naruto and Sakura lied sound asleep in their bedroom, unaware that the back door of their house was slowly opening. They slept as a single figure moved its way through their house, up the staircases until he was standing over Naruto with a razor-sharp knife in hand. He looked down to see Sakura and Naruto sleeping on their sides. Sakura's back was pushed up against Naruto's front as he held her around the hips and her belly. They had kicked off the blanket while they were sleeping, letting him see that their feet were entangled together. Both wearing their normal sleeping cloths, an orange t-shirt and black shorts for Naruto and a red tank top with tan shorts for Sakura. "It is time for you to die, demon," said the man as he started stabbing wilding into Naruto and Sakura. "If I can't have her, no one will." "Are you done?" asked a new voice as the man looked toward the window to see Naruto and Sakura standing there. He looked back down to see all he had hit were 2 wooden dummies. "How did you know I was here?" asked the man. "We are demon summoners, so who sent you, Haishir or Anoki?" asked Naruto. "No one sent me, I move by my one free will," said the man. "Who are you?" asked Sakura as she turned on the lights. Both their eyes widened as they saw their would-be assassin. He was dirty like he hadn't taken a shower in weeks, his Jonin uniform was ripped and covered with dry mud. His long black hair reached the small of his back and covered a large part of his down to his nose. He also had a full black beard, however his big bushy black eyebrows and his green jumpsuit that told them who it was. "Lee?" asked Sakura. "Yes," said Lee. "What happened to you?" asked Naruto. "I thought you and Guy were on a training mission." "We were, I left to be on my own years ago," said Lee, "and I have spent years alone in training to take revenge for the death of my Sakura-chan." "What are you talking about?" asked Naruto. "Sakura's right here." "No, my destined love would never take power, she would work for it, therefore she, and like Shikamaru and Hinata were corrupted by your demon," said Lee. "I will kill the source of demon chakra and then Sakura. Only then can the real Sakura-chan rest in peace." "You are crazy, Lee," yelled Sakura as she stepped toward Lee. "You spent too much time alone in the woods. We are your friends." "No, you are not," yelled Lee as he lunged forward with his knife only to have his hand grabbed by Naruto. "I will not let you harm Sakura-chan," stated Naruto as his eyes became silted. "I will save her," said Lee as he went to kick Naruto, who had to let go of Lee's hand to block his kick. The moment his kick was blocked, Lee jumped back toward the window. "Lee, let's take you back to the village. Once you are back with your friends everything will return to normal," said Naruto. "I don't think so," said Lee as he ran out of the room before jumping down onto the ground. He bolted across the ground until he reached the water. To Naruto's and Sakura's amazement, Lee was running so fast that he was able to run across the water. "Is he crazy? It is at least 10 miles to the shore with no island between there and here," asked Naruto as he watched Lee disappear into the darkness. "I am having trouble believing it is Lee," said Sakura. "He has changed," said Naruto, "and not for the better." As the sun was about to break over the horizon, Rock Lee, the youthful lion of the Leaf Village, fell to the soft beach sand. "I got away from those unhonorable power-stealing demons," stated Lee. "How would you like to strike back at those demons?" asked a new voice as Lee looked up to see a man in a black cloak with red clouds. He had orange hair and strange eyes, which looked like circles within circles. "Who are you?" asked Lee. "I am Pain, leader of the Akatsuki," said Pain. "And I am Toby," said a new happier-sounding voice as Lee noticed another man with a mask on lying on a rock with a fishing line tied to his toe. "And I am going to get my own breakfast. I am so clearer by tying a line to my big toe I can take a nap while I fish." "The Akatsuki were the ones who attacked Gaara," said Lee as he sat up. "Yes, we took the power of the one-tailed demon away," said Pain. "Gaara had a demon in him like Naruto?" asked Lee. "Yes, and we took that away from him and sealed it away inside a ring," said Pain as he pulled out a ring. "In fact, this ring." "Why are you telling me this?" asked Lee. "Because we want you to join us," said Toby. "We can take care of all the demons and bring peace to the human world." "I don't want your power, I will earn it on my own. Though hard work and force of will I will overcome those who take power without earning it," said Lee. "Ah, but you will earn it," said Pain. "The power of a demon, even a one-tail, is extremely hard to control. You will earn its power by mastering it. Think of a sword, anyone can pick it up but only through hard work can you master its power," said Toby. "But I have no real chakra," said Lee. "That is why your will force will control the chakra of the demon," said Pain. "When you master it you will be able to do justice like any other ninja. If you work hard you may be able to take down Naruto Namikaze and those who gain power without working for it." "This still doesn't seem right. It's somewhat like what Sakura, Naruto, and those other demon summers did and took power," said Lee. "Even if it is, sometimes you must pay dirty in order to regain the honor of the human race," said Pain. "To obtain true peace sometimes people must die, and to stop the demons we need to play by their rules." Very well, said Lee as he took the ring. Yippee, a new member. I am no longer the new guy, said Toby as he jumped up and down in joy only to be suddenly pulled out to sea by a large fish. Wow, he is a big one, yelled Toby as he disappeared under the water. We have to help him, said Lee. Do not fear, he is enjoying himself, said Payne as a large fish broke the surface, so large in fact that Toby was riding it like a bucking bull. Don't worry, breakfast will be on me, when I pull him in, said Toby as the fish dove underwater again. Sakura walked through the doors of the Namikaze's main house late one night. Like she always did every night, she took off her shoes near the door and hung her coat on a hanger. Everything seemed in place, the kitchen was clean, well as clean as Naruto got when he cooked, the trash was out and everything seemed normal. The only thing out of place was the lamp that was on by the living room couch. Naruto must have left it on, said Sakura as she went to turn it off. However, as she neared the couch she noticed that it was occupied. There, lying on the couch with his feet sticking out the edge, was Naruto fast asleep. However, he wasn't alone. There, lying beside him, was a little boy maybe 4 or 5 years old. He looked like Naruto in almost every way imaginable. He was snuggled in for warmth as one of his father's arms held him close. Naruto's other hand was on the back of a sleeping 1.5-year-old boy with red hair. Sakura smiled as she picked up a little blanket and placed it across them. The sudden pressure of the blanket caused the little baby to open his eyes and look up at Sakura with his sea green eyes. Let your father and brother sleep, whispered Sakura as the little boy lowered his head and went back to sleep. Good night, my boys, said Sakura as she leaned forward and kissed their foreheads. Mommy? Asked a new voice as Sakura turned toward the sound of the voice only to see a young girl maybe 4 or 5 with pink hair and blue eyes. She held a pink blanket in her hand. What is it, honey? Asked Sakura as she walked over and picked the girl up in her arms. I had a nightmare, stated the girl as she wrapped her arms around Sakura's neck. Well, since your father is busy protecting your brothers from nightmares, why don't you sleep with me tonight, said Sakura. But, Daddy is the Hokage, only he can defeat the nightmares, said the girl. Don't be afraid, I am just as good as your father in driving away those scary nightmares, said Sakura as she used a free hand to turn off the lamp before walking toward her bedroom carrying her daughter. The moment she reached the door, a loud beeping sound filled the air. Suddenly everything disappeared and Sakura opened her eyes to see her nightstand and alarm clock. Another one of those dreams, thought Sakura as she hit the snooze button before nuzzling back up against the still sleeping Naruto. It seems that all the dreams we have been having is either about our upcoming wedding, the coming war, or our future life and family with Naruto-kun, added inner Sakura. Yeah, but it is never the same, thought Sakura as she remembered all the dreams she had been having over the past year. Dreams of Naruto and her raising kids with different traits from both of them. It almost seemed like each dream was coming up with new and different looks for their future kids. Hair and eye color kept changing along with the number. Even their genders and ages were never fixed. Sometimes they had all girls, sometimes all boys at different ages. All too soon she heard her alarm go off again. She slowly went to hit the snooze button again. After she did, she moved to rest her head back down on Naruto's chest. You better get up, Sakura-chan. You can't spend all day here, whispered Naruto as he opened his eyes. For a moment they just looked into each other's eyes as they lied in bed. Why not? Asked Sakura as she tried to fall back asleep. Don't you want me to stay? Of course I want you to stay, but remember it is Saturday, said Naruto as Sakura's eyes widened like dinner plates as she looked at the clock, which read 8:15. Damn, how could I forget it was Saturday, said Sakura as she jumped out of bed. I have to meet Ino, Temari, Hinata and Ino's, Choji's and my mother's in under an hour. Calm down, Sakura-chan, you guys are only going shopping, said Naruto as Sakura rolled her eyes. There are some things he will just never understand, thought Sakura. Naruto, it is more than shopping. Temari, Ino and I are picking out our wedding dresses, said Sakura as Naruto laughed. I know, but I don't think they will start without you, said Naruto. You all wanted to do this together. And they will not start that meeting without you, but that doesn't give you an excuses to show up late, does it? Asked Sakura as Naruto got out of bed. No it doesn't, said Naruto as he looked toward a wall calendar which read October 10th, Naruto's birthday, and the day he feared the most. It was the only day that everyone had off to go shopping. Just be careful out there. I will be, said Sakura, knowing that now 19-year-old Naruto had only one more birthday before the start of the war, a year away from next summer. Sakura quickly got ready and headed out the door. I hope Sakura will be okay, thought Naruto as he started to get ready for his meeting with Tsunade. Sakura rushed across the rooftops toward the main shopping district near the center of the village. Above her, dark thunderclouds were gathering. Looks like a storm, thought Sakura sadly. She knew that rain meant that the outdoor 4th Hokage dance, like most of the street festival, would be cancelled, and Haishir would take any chance he could to stop Naruto and the other demon summoners from having any form of fun. When she arrived outside the store, she found Ino and everyone else waiting for her. So glad you could make it, Sakura, said Ino as Sakura rolled her eyes. We were supposed to meet at 9 and it is 9, so I am on time, said Sakura. Isn't this supposed to be a happy day? Don't mess it up by fighting, said both Ino and Sakura's mother as they walked through the door of the dress shop. How can I help you all? Asked one of the shop employees. A young woman with black hair and black eyes. Yes, an appointment for Haruno, Yamenka and Temari, said Rin Haruno as the employee's eyes locked on Sakura and Hinata. I am sorry, but those two will not be allowed to in the store, said the employee. Why? Asked Sakura, already knowing the answer. Because you are a demon, said the employee with hate in her voice. Fine, then we will all leave, stated Ino as suddenly an older woman walked up. She was short and dressed in a black dress with a measuring tape wrapped around her shoulders. Her thick glasses covered eyes that had seen a lot in her time. That will not be needed, said the woman. Mrs. Oito, they are demons, said the employee. You are excused, young lady, ordered Mrs. Oito as the employee stormed out. I am sorry about my youngest granddaughter has quite a temper. You are all welcomed in my shop. Thank you, but why are you letting us in? Asked Sakura. The ordered generation are more likely to think we are demons. I am not sure if you are demons or not, said Mrs. Oito. However, I wouldn't be around today and neither would my family if it wasn't for the actions of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. How? Asked Sakura. They saved my newborn son's and mine life during the fall of the Whirlpool country. We were both injured and could have been left behind, but those two risked their young lives to save us. I can never repay them for doing that, said Mrs. Oito before looking at Sakura, but maybe I can start by helping their son's wife pick out a dress. Thank you, said Sakura. Well ladies, we have a busy day ahead. 3 dresses for 3 weddings, said Mrs. Oito. This is going to be fun, said Ino. Make it 4, said Hinata as everyone looked at her. That is when Sakura noticed a silver and gold ring on Hinata's finger. Wait, Kiba asked Ino as Hinata held out the ring for everyone to look at. It was a simple silver demon ring, but inlaid in the side were an image of a lioness and a lion. Yes, said Hinata with a smile. Flashback. A bright full hunter's moon hung over the skis of the demon lion village. However, Lady Seatlolly, demon lord of all lions, couldn't sleep. She got out of her bed and walked toward a large balcony overlooking her palace and the city. From her vantage point near the top of a main tower, she could see the few lights on in the city's downtown area, more than likely the young pups enjoying going out on late-night dates. However, most of her city were sound asleep on a warm summer's night under the moon and stars. She looked down from the tower into the many palace house that surrounded the main tower. From here she could see most of the off-duty guards and aides sleeping, but she could also see the other top families of the demon lions sleeping in their outdoor bedrooms. Ever since the founding of the demon lion village, it was traditional for everyone to have 2 bedrooms. One inside for winter and bad weather, the other outside under the stars and moon for nights like this. However, one caught her eye. Sleeping down below her were the only 2 humans ever to come to the demon lion village, Hinata and Kiba. She could see though the thin canopy that surrounded their bed. Both were sleeping on their sides, Hinata's back to Kiba's front with their arms intertwined. Kiba's nose was in Hinata's hair, just inhaling her scent to know she was still there beside him. Hinata had a smile on her face of pure happiness being beside her mate. Kiba's dog, Akamaru, was sleeping at the foot of the bed. They seem so happy, said Citlali with a smile as she suddenly noticed Kiba moving. Slowly he sat up as one of his hands moved toward a small nightstand beside his bed. Citlali watched as Kiba pulled out a small box. Slowly he opened it to show a diamond ring. A ring is a sign of human mating, thought Citlali as she noticed Kiba slipping the ring on the sleeping Hinata. Hinata-chan, I want you to see this first thing in the morning, whispered Kiba. Little did he know that he was being watched or that Citlali could read lips. Slowly he kissed Hinata's forehead before lying back down. Instantly Hinata rolled over and placed her head on the soft spot below the neck. Yes, Kiba-kun, said Hinata softly as Kiba's eyes widened only to realize that Hinata was still sleeping. Hinata is in for a great morning, thought Citlali. Maybe I should give her the morning off again. The next morning Citlali awoke to find Kiba and Hinata gone from their outdoor bed, with Akamaru locked outside with their sleeping cloths lying around the private courtyard. At least they took it inside. I know some lions who wouldn't do that, thought Citlali. End flashback. I told Kiba's family when we got back from the demon world yesterday. Kiba's mother and sister should be on their way here. They had an early morning patrol. Well, the more the merrier, said Mrs. Oito. Meanwhile Naruto, Shikamaru, Jiraiya, Guy, and Kakashi meet with Tsunade in her office. Guy, how is the search for Lee going? Asked Tsunade. Not well. It seems that my most youthful student is gone without a trace, said Guy before he looked at Naruto. I am still sorry about my student's attack on you and Sakura. I have no excuses for him. It's alright. From what I understand, losing Sakura-chan to me and him being alone made him lose his mind, said Naruto. It isn't just that. Lee never liked people who gained power without work, said Guy. People with natural talent like Sasuke and Neji, who being a ninja came naturally when he had to work for it, always upset him. I fear that my student may have lost himself completely. We don't know where he is, but we will find him in time, said Naruto. I hate to state this, but we need to start building some of the more open defenses, like frontline trenches around the village and supplies/fire bases in the countryside, said Shikamaru. Shikamaru, those things will only slow down the demons, and that is a big if, said Naruto. I know, but it will help the villagers feel better about themselves and realize that this war is real, said Shikamaru. Makes sense, said Kakashi. I mean, you wouldn't even know that the largest war in our history is only 19 months away. And you can't wage a war without the will of people at the home front, said Shikamaru. Shikamaru is right, Naruto, said Tsunade as Naruto nodded his head. I know, I let my personal feelings about getting Lee back cloud my judgment for a bit, said Naruto. Are you guys going to start your combined training soon? Asked Kakashi. Yes, tomorrow in fact, said Naruto. It will be strange to see how much everyone has grown. That gives me an idea, said Tsunade. What? Asked Naruto as Tsunade grinned, a grin he knew he wasn't going to like. Shizune, said Tsunade as Shizune entered. Yes, Lady Hokage. Give all our top ANBU and Jonin squad messages to meet at the Forest of Death at 9 tomorrow morning, ordered Tsunade. Yes, Lady Hokage, said Shizune left. What are you planning? Asked Naruto. A little test, said Tsunade as the dark clouds outside finally gave way to a storm. You 4 demon summers versus the best of the Leaf, lead by me. A thunderstorm now raged outside, but that couldn't stop the joy that raged inside. You look beautiful, said Sakura's mother Rin with tears in her eyes as she looked at Sakura stand there in a wedding dress. Yes, it is perfect, Naruto will love it, said Ino as she sat watching. They had decided to take turns in picking dress. Temari went first and found what she wanted in under half an hour, followed by Sakura. Ino was next and lastly Hinata. So Sakura, is this yours? Asked Mrs. Oito. Yes, said Sakura with tears in her eyes as she dreamed about what Naruto would think when he saw at their wedding. Sakura turned about and hugged her mother and her friends. At that moment Tsum and Hana Inazuka arrived. Sorry we are late, said Tsum before she spotted Sakura. So you are here. I don't understand you, Tsum. You hate Sakura because of being a demon, but you seem to be alright with your future daughter-in-law being a demon summoner, said Ino. What is wrong with Sakura? Ino. She has no grudge against Sakura, said Liz as Tsum glared at her former teammate. In fact, I would bet that she doesn't even care about demon summoners at all. But she has been one of the people leading the charge against Naruto. Call him a demon, said Temari. That is just a cover, said Rin as she looked at Tsum. You have no right to tell them anything, stated Tsum. That ended decades ago. But your first love never truly leaves you, said Liz as Tsum glared pure hate at the two older women. What are you talking about? Asked Sakura. Basically, when we were in school, Tsum had a Hinata-like crush on one, Minato Namikaze, said Liz as the younger generation eyes widened. That is why her husband left her. She always compared him to Minato and it drove him up the wall. That is all it is about. You are upset that Naruto's dad chooses Kushina instead of you, asked Sakura, stunned that something so simple could be the source of so much hate. Kushina was from another village and shouldn't have even been allowed into the leaf to begin with, stated Tsum. I can't believe that is all this is about, said Ino. Let it go. Would you if Choji decided to marry some whore from another village? Asked Tsum as Ino glared at her. So you held a grudge for years because Minato picked Kushina and not you? Asked Sakura as her rage began to build. That is why you put their son through hell by supporting Hayashi and Choza attack on Naruto-kun? I don't have to explain myself to you or anyone else, stated Tsum. Ladies, let's put our differences aside and let the younger generation enjoy this experience, said Mrs. Oito. Fine, said Tsum, still glaring at Sakura. Hours later the skies had cleared from the afternoon thunderstorms, but too late. The fourth Hokage ball was cancelled along with the street party. It seemed that the Hidden Leaf village had fallen into a peaceful night. However, the older villagers who had filled the bars for hours decided to strike back. Soon a large mob armed with some weapons but mostly rocks they picked up on the way to the Namikaze compound. As they marched through the streets, messages were running to inform the Hokage of the movement of a mob of villagers. However, they were not the only massagers running. A squad of three-tailed demon fox royal guards were alerted by lower-level foxes hidden around the village. Move into combat lines, ordered the four-tailed guard commander as three of his four subordinate formed a defense line in front of the main gate to the Namikaze compound. The other member had gone off to inform the sleeping Naruto and Sakura. Suddenly another lookout fox appeared in a puff of smoke. What is it? Asked the four tails. Another mod is en route to this location at a high rate of speed, reported the lookout. How far? Asked Naruto as he walked out. Lord Namikaze, please stay inside, let us handle this, said the guard as another lookout appeared. Sir, the two mobs have met 3 blocks away, reported the lookout. How long until they get here? Asked Naruto. Unknown, sir, they are fighting each other, said Massager Fox. What? Asked Naruto. One group is against you and one is for you, said the Massager Fox. Show me, said Naruto as the Massager Fox led him through the street to a rooftop overlooking 2 large groups of people. He is a demon, yelled people in one group, as another group maybe just as large as them were yelling at them, calling them idiots and blinded by rage. Naruto could see many faces from the 9th and 8th districts in the counter mod. The sides were moving toward blows when teams of ANBU showed up to keep the peace. Break it up, ordered Tsunade as she appeared. Those people are protecting a demon just like you, yelled a drunken man as he threw a rock at Tsunade. Tsunade caught it with ease before breaking it up into nothing more than dust. I would leave before I change my mind about throwing you in jail, ordered Tsunade as the mod started breaking apart. Maybe I can change the minds of the villagers, thought Naruto. While the crowds broke apart, Sasuke Uchiha sat in mediation in the demon snake world. He sat in a pitched black room, the only light came from two small red candles located on an altar. On the altar was a statue of a black snake. Slowly a door opened behind him as a large snake slithered in. "What is it?" asked Sasuke without even opening his eyes. "Sir, we have confirmed Karen's original findings," said the snake as Sasuke smiled. "Perfect," said Sasuke. "Congratulations Sasuke Uchiha, you are going to be a father," said the snake.